Aaron Rodgers, the day that he decides to show up, the defense doesn't. I want the whole package. I want the whole thing this time.
I'll tell you what, Romeo Doubs is looking good. He is going to be wide receiver number 1 by the end of the season. Book it.
Dillon are going to be part of this. They're going to get a lot of catches this year. They're going to get even more. Jones already showed that he can handle a big load of catches.
9 different receivers had 90 or more yards, in the 7 games that Devontae was out.
He stuck with this team for so long. He said he wants to retire here. Why not just let it be?
Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and Packer owner Nick. Enjoy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Frozen Tundra Network. Today is a crazy big day, isn't it, fellas? We got a whole lot to talk about. So we're going to have to fix that intro because the day that Aaron Rodgers leaves the Green Bay Packers, I don't want to talk about him much more after that. And I'm sorry, Bill, but Romeo Doubs, as much as I wanted him to be our number 1 at the end of the year, it's Christian Watson. But if everybody, there was a lot of people that watched Pat McAfee show today. I know most of the people tuning in did. Rodgers said a lot of, I'm going to call it Jekyll and Hyde type of interview stuff where, he really professed what was going on. He gave us a lot of detail, and he is officially not coming back to the Green Bay Packers. So the end of an era, start of a new era. I just want to give that small snippet. We're going to be very controlled on this show specifically. What we're not going to do, everybody, is bash the shit out of Rodgers all show. What we're going to do is we're going to give our honest opinions and how we feel about it. And then we're going to move on to what's, in the future for the Packers. So I'm going to go around the panel. You guys, you've done this a million times on this show. Go ahead and take it away. I will go ahead and start Friday. Be here Friday for our show because Ken, do you see how enormous and large his beard is? That takes years. He's going to shave his beard live on Friday because he lost a bet to me. So I'll start with the guy losing the beard. What happened today? How you feeling?
It takes about 8 months for one.
Oh, full football season.
Pretty much. But anyway, seriously, we all know how much I love Rodgers. He's been pretty much the main quarterback through most of my fandom. There was Favre in the early years, but Rodgers was really mostly the guy. I didn't want to see it. I knew the day was coming. I had a feeling it was going to be announced today too, and that it was going to be the Jets. And hey, hopefully, he has a good year, can ride off in the sunset. But here's to Jordan Love, I guess. Let's see what the kid's got.
If I'm being honest, that seemed, I'm just opinionated on this. It seemed very emotional coming from you just now, Ken.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I loved it. Shit, I met the guy when I was 18 years old, and it had a profound impact just from the 30-second interaction that we had at training camp.
Yeah. All right. Well, I like it. Let's do a polar opposite. We'll go with David Gray. I know you're extremely opinionated on this one. How you feeling today and what happened? David, are you there? David.
I think you might be
mute myself.
Yeah.
No, it is the end of an era, and it is sad. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Rodgers. You know, I wanted him traded last year.
We should have.
I had kind of issues with both sides. Honestly, the GM, I don't know. Maybe you should have thought about this last year. Why are you giving him 100? I guess they gave him that money thinking with the fact that somebody will take him. If they'll take the money too. But that doesn't always work out. But I don't know. And as far as the interview, he kind of flip-flopped, man. And it was like he was naming off all these guys that were there when he drafted them, and then saying it's a new regime. Well, Brian Gutekunst was in the building. He was the director of scouting, I believe, when he was drafted. So he forgot that part. And it's just kind of like he threw him under the bus. And like, I don't know. He said he was 90% retired going into his retreat. So he didn't relay that message to the upper management. Like they didn't know that part. I don't know. Then
I think they did. I think they did. That's why they were shopping him around.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it was a very like Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type interview. It was very like you felt bad and you really felt like, damn, this is really it. But then there was content to it where it was like, I'm a Packers fan first. I love Aaron Rodgers, but I love my Packers, and I don't really want to hear you like throw us under the bus when you were the one that wasn't sure. Right. It kind of felt like Favre again all over. It's like, dude, one of these days the chickens come home to roost. You know what I mean? Like we can't play this game all the time. Eventually, management is going to say, "Look, we got our guy. We know we got our guy, and we're moving on." It was bound to happen, man. It was. So, well, thank you for that, David. Let's go. We're going to go with Isaac, and then we're going to go polar opposite to Isaac. And Robert, I want you to go last specifically because you're like square in the middle of this whole thing. So go ahead, Isaac.
So what we're going to do is, we took the mojo out of Rodgers and put it into Jordan Love, just like how they did to Russ Wilson and put it into Geno Smith. That's basically what happened. Nah, I mean, it's bittersweet. He's been with the organization 18 years. We know how this business is. Not a lot of players stay with one organization for that many years. Incredibly thankful for all of Rodgers, the memories, the championship, basically leaving Green Bay with a winning percentage as well. Like throughout most of his career, Green Bay has had a winning percentage, and he's kept us above like 600 most of his career.
I think it's like 630. It's about 63% around.
Yeah, somewhere around there. So, I mean, I'm very thankful for all the years. I'm glad I went to Green Bay and saw him live. That's one big thing that, that's really like thankful for seeing before he went away. But like, as everybody is thinking, it's time for a little change. It's sad to see Rodgers go, but I'm excited for the future of this, team. Like, all the money that we're going to get back now after, this year, and see what team that we build and see what Love has and see where Green Bay is going to go in the future. But extremely thankful for all of Rodgers done, all his accomplishments. And yeah, I'm going to be waiting to the day where we retire his number. And, that's going to be a big celebration there.
So Kate, after we're done talking about what transpired, because there's a lot to process for everybody, we're going to talk about our thoughts on Love. And I know, just like the thoughts on Rodgers, everyone's got some really huge opinions on this panel about Love as well. So, so thanks for that, Isaac. We're going to go to, I'm not even going to call it polar opposite. I'm going to call it an extreme opposite. Go ahead, John Dorn. What's your thought on this?
Yeah, he's gone. No. I wanted him gone last year. I did. I wanted him gone probably about 2 years ago already. I mean, when we were playing that game against the 49ers, he was like tunnel vision to fucking Adams the whole fucking time. From there on, I just lost it. I'm done with him. When he can't fucking mix Lazard wide open, he's not even hitting him. He sees him right there. So, but went out here, when I found out he was leaving today, it was like a good thank you. You're doing us a favor. Our franchise got to go. I mean, we got to go expand out now. You got the Lions going, rebuilding. You got the Bears rebuilding. You got the Vikings are rebuilding. I don't care what they say. They're rebuilding. We got to keep up with them. We are a young team. Actually, we are a young team. We are. Now we're getting rid of our older guys like Rodgers, Crosby, everybody. We're getting rid of a lot of the heavyweights. You know what I mean?
Which I also think I also think is also doing us a favor, like what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we got to get younger, and we drafted Dub for a reason. You know, we're pretty good at developing players, and they've been watching him since college, before college. So, and they wanted him bad. They went up to get him, and they did. And that extra fourth pick, that was actually a free pick, anyways. You know what I mean? So it's not like, you know, they took a chance on him, and they loved everything about him. They got him developed. He's ready to play. Rodgers keeps on playing like that Favre. I'm not sure if I'm going to play or not. When he just signed a $150 million fucking contract, and he still not sure if he's going to play yet. He said he was all in last year. Was he all in? He wasn't at OTAs. He wasn't at fucking mini camps. And he comes in, he's bitching about all these fucking receivers not running right routes. Maybe it was him. You know, maybe the locker room kind of like, what the hell? You know, he's kind of like, you know, the younger guys don't like that. Yeah. His ways, you know.
So Nelson, we're going to talk about that as well. Trust me, we're going to get into this new era and everything that this means. And I don't believe that we'll be down for long. I know. Welcome, Russell, who hosts the main event, which is a Lions show. He's a huge component of these shows. So, Russell, you're on mute if you want to unmute yourself. I know that he has high hopes, not high hopes, but I know that you like Jordan Love at least a little bit as well.
I have high hopes. No, actually, my high hopes were that Aaron Rodgers would stay. And this is actually, in my opinion, as a Lion fan perspective, the best thing that the Packers could do would be to move on from Rodgers. So, yeah, this is the scariest situation as a Lions fan, to know that the Packers are doing this.
Yeah.
How about the Lions poaching Montgomery?
We'll get to that soon. Let's get with Robert. Robert's chomping at the bits. I can see in his face. He's like, that's my turn now. So, Robert, I also want you to tie into like what this means as well, because this is so much more beyond than just like a legend leaving our franchise. You know what I mean?
Well, man, I mean, I'm glad I already went through this with Favre, because hands down, Favre's my favorite player, and he was my quarterback that made me fall completely in love with the Packers. You know, seeing this with Rodgers, I mean, to me, it feels like it's all doing the same thing again. We went and drafted a quarterback early and put pressure on the legend that's already playing, and you know, I think he had a year or two left in him. I wanted to see him play his whole career in Green Bay, not even go anywhere else, and you know, it's disappointing, man. I'm a little today. I'm a sad Packer fan. You know, I understand that every player ages, man. Every player gets to that point where they can't play no more, and they don't want to go out there, and they can't do their best like they used to do. So, you know, it affects their thinking. It affects the way they play, and you know, I rely on the management of the Packers to you know, do the right choice. I mean, for all these years I've been watching the team, I've never been to the point where I thought, you know, well, all right, I take it back. In the Favre thing, I thought it was you know, to me, I really love Favre, and I didn't want to see him go. It sucked that he kept retiring and then turn around and the next, I want to play again. But I mean, he still was the best player we had. I don't understand why, you know. And he went out, he played a year for the Jets, and then he turned around and said, oh, I'm going to show you guys, you should have not let me go. And he was one interception, the back of the end zone, from putting the Minnesota Vikings in the Super Bowl.
It's my quarterback.
I mean, he was that close. He was that close to getting the Vikings. And I thought, well, see, look at what we almost did, man. If that would have, I don't know if Favre would have came and retired as a Packer if he would have won a Super Bowl with the fucking Vikings. I mean, he was salty because he thought he lifted this franchise up. And yeah, he was on the fence. You know, it's hard playing a whole year, getting your ass kicked, and then, you know, at the end of the season you're feeling down. But then you rest, you heal up, you feel better. And now you get that spring training's here. I mean, as a fan, I get hyped when spring training. We all do, man. I mean, we're all chomping at the bit. We're all start posting nasty shit. I mean, it gets crazy in here, and that's how he was. He wanted to play again. He got that fire. He relit. And me as a hardcore, I thought, well, shit, it's a no-brainer. Just bring him back. But I understand we drafted Rodgers, and Rodgers needed to shine. And look, I mean, it wasn't a bad choice. I mean, at the time, I was really pissed. But I trust in the team, and I'm going to trust that Love, because he hasn't showed me anything yet. I want to see it, and I know he was a first round draft pick, and that's probably, I mean, as far as it goes, Rodgers was our very best draft pick as far as Favre we got on like a kind of trade deal. Ron Wolf was a magician, and he really carried the Packers through the 90s. I mean, he put the players where they needed to be and put us back on the map. And I mean, I love all these years, man. I love it, and I'm sorry that it's all come to an end. And I'm very upset that Rodgers is gone, and I'm all in for Love, though, man. I seriously am. I want to see the guy do well, and I want to see us back in glory. But it's probably going to be a year or two, fellas. The Lions may actually take over the division, something I haven't seen in over 30 years.
Let's do this for everybody that has decided, which I hope it's everybody has decided to drink today. Let's raise one. I'm gonna raise one to our fearless leader. In my opinion, the best quarterback that has ever existed in Green Bay history, the guy that has carried us through so much bullshit. Thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for everything that you've done. Cheers to you, and I will never hate on you while you're on the Jets. That's not what I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna root that we're better. Obviously, I want us to win, but cheers to you, buddy. Thank you for the years and the dedication. I know even the people that didn't like you at the end still can appreciate what you've done. Thank you, Aaron Rodgers.
Thank you. Thank you, man.
On a side note, Favre even proved he couldn't win the Vikings a ring.
That's right. I just don't want Rodgers to get that idea and come back and haunt us, man, because he's scary, man.
You need a hopeful come by then.
You guys have seen a championship, so that's something.
We've seen a couple, man. Hey, I'm never gonna knock
Rodgers, it. With Rodgers is what I mean. That's...
Rodgers is the boogeyman of the North. All the North rivals know.
We want you back. Look, I think even for the rival fans, it's gonna be kind of weird.
Nick, you didn't give your thoughts.
I didn't what?
You didn't give your thoughts.
Oh,
yeah, he opened it up with it.
Well, I can give more in-depth thoughts about it. Look, you guys are in these groups with me. You guys are in these chats with me. You know that I wanted Rodgers to come back. Everyone knows that. But I'm sure you guys realized at the end of this that I was trying to be as neutral as I possibly could because, look, I bought Jordan Love's jersey the day that he was fucking drafted, man. I really want this guy to succeed. I live right next to where he went to college. Like, I really want this guy to succeed. So nothing against Love. I just felt that if we gave Rodgers just one last year, and we get out of that contract because there's an opt-out after that, that's what I really wanted to see. I think we have a very competitive roster that just didn't – we were too young and it didn't develop right, and it just didn't work out last year. I think this year it could. So with Rodgers, if he comes back and actually didn't decline the way that he looked, I thought it could work. But at the same time, I'm fucking sick of this, you guys. I'm ready. I'm ready to move on at some point. I'm ready for Jordan Love too, man. I thought he looked really good. Everything that I'm reading about him and the quarterback coach as of right now, all the new things that are transpiring, they're saying he looks great. They're saying his mechanics look great. His arm is sticking. So that's now my quarterback, man. So I'm going to wear this 12 tonight, but from, the rest of the time at this point, I hope I'm wearing 10. You know what I mean? Proudly.
Yeah. Nick had to buy that jersey because Love's his next door neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that a lot of you guys hit on a lot of really good key points where Rodgers did help us out. And so did management in a way where they mutually kind of just went, look, fine, we'll break it off. If we hold on to Rodgers till June 2nd, post June 2nd, it turns into a $15 million dead cap, from what I read anyways. So hopefully Green Bay really holds the fuck out to get these 2 firsts or whatever it is that they're looking for so we can at least get something valuable from the Jets because we have all the leverage. We have all the leverage right now. The Jets did the worst thing you could ever do, and that's let the other team know that you are so desperate you'll do anything. So at this point for the Packers, we could really be like, give us what we want, or else you don't get what you want, and Rodgers has to retire. So that's my take. Now that we're done with Aaron Rodgers and everything anybody have some last things they want to say about?
Couldn't they call your bluff though and tell you to cut him?
They wouldn't cut him. Well, I would hope they wouldn't cut him. If I were them, I'd go retire then.
Though I don't know how that works.
No, you'd have to retire.
He'd have to retire.
It's actually forced.
And he would have to sit out another year before he could sign with somebody. He can't just retire and then go sign with someone else.
He's still on contract after that. It's like when Calvin Johnson retired. When he came back, he was still on the same contract.
It's like even with the coaches. Same thing with coaches. Sean Payton.
Yep.
It's a circus.
You guys
think
it is.
It's rigged. The whole damn thing is rigged, man. The whole thing.
I think it's going to get done in the next week here. I think it's going to be done because they want to move on. I think Jets going to fold. They want their quarterback in there now. Start working together now. We want them gone just to get rid of the headache. You know what I mean? So we can go on with our life,
Only you want him gone to get rid of the headache, John. Jesus.
One thing that I think that David Gray may have been getting at, wanting to hear my opinion, was this part where, as much as I love Rodgers and thank you for everything, Rodgers, I really didn't like the part of the interview where you're throwing the whole franchise under the bus, man. Like, I'm sorry, but come on. I understand that you felt disrespected at times, or you felt like maybe the franchise didn't want you as much as they used to want you, et cetera, et cetera. He started talking about, if I didn't win those 2 MVPs, we wouldn't even be here right now. I do believe that. But man, to start throwing the franchise under the bus like that, I didn't like that part of it.
And calling yourself the greatest player in team history. I mean,
yeah,
he might very well be. He might very well be, but that's pretty fucking cocky, man.
But that's what makes Aaron Rodgers, man. I mean,
it's really uncalled for. If you're really that great, you know it. You ain't got to fucking flaunt it.
Don't you guys wish that you could have found out what love was before now?
I mean, yes.
If he's good, say that he's awesome this year. I mean, you literally got to pay him like the next year. Like,
that's something for $20 million the next year.
Before the show, that's something we were talking about, where we actually, all of us agreed that because of what just transpired, we all kind of wish that they would have just did this last year instead of letting it prolong. Like, we get that he won the 2 MVPs, but if management was going to go up to him this year and be like, "Hey, man, we're ready to move on," don't sign him to what you signed him to. You know what I mean? Don't elongate the contract and do all this crazy shit, dude. Just snip it last year so we could be in a better position now.
Yeah, you might have got like 5 first-round picks last year, right?
Exactly. Coming off of 3 consecutive 13-win seasons, back-to-back MVPs. Right. I mean, Rodgers was at the top of his game last year. If this was the plan to cut him and just wait a year, this was a stupid fucking plan, man. To wait 1 fucking year to do this. I mean,
I just want to address something that David Gray said, that Rodgers calling himself the greatest and all that. Well, you got a hat on with Michael Jordan. That guy reminds everybody every single day he's
the greatest.
To be fair, he did say. To be fair, David did say he very well may be. I kind of get what he's getting at, though, in a sense. Like, if Aaron Rodgers.
He's just saying he's cocky. That's all.
but Aaron Rodgers before all this was like, I think I'm the greatest quarterback in Green Bay history. A lot of us would be like, yeah, you probably are. But because of the situation, it's situational, where he decided to say that, it just doesn't come off as good as he wanted it to, if that makes sense. Like, that's like Brett Favre, like, I don't need to get Aaron Rodgers ready to play. I'm the greatest quarterback ever in Green Bay. You're like, wow, you kind of sound like a dick.
Well, the whole problem with the greatest player, greatest ever. What are the standards? Somebody set the standards, because everybody's got a different standard of what it is. Is it Super Bowl wins? Is it MVPs? Is it? I mean,
You know what? It's one of
It
the
depends
most
on what.
Greatest, if you're talking about greatest, yes, accomplishments matter. All that shit matters. If you're talking about the best, in my opinion, it's individual, pure individualism, like what it is that you do besides team accomplishments, right? So if
Right,
you're
I
the
understand
greatest, you got to win the Super Bowls. If you're the greatest, you got to get the MVPs. If you're the greatest, you got to have all that. But if
So
you're
then
the
Rodgers
best,
got all that for playing with the
It's-
Packers.
it's-
Is he one of the greatest Packer quarterbacks to play for the team history? He probably is, man.
First
He's
of
up
all,
there with Favre and
Star.
Star for
people
sure.
will say Star because
First
Star
of
won
all,
5
He
championships.
won multiple championships
The
back to
problem
back.
The problem is Starr will never be the best quarterback that we in Green Bay because he could never throw a ball like Aaron Rodgers. It's impossible for that guy to ever do what Aaron Rodgers did.
And in his era, they handed the ball off 60 to 70% of the time anyway. I
They
mean,
ran the wishbone, man.
yeah.
and one of the most overused terms in sports today is the word GOAT.
Yep.
Now, GOAT has been stretched on the media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It hasn't been about one player ever now. Not in this new era, new generation of social media in sports, because people are using the term GOAT for everything now.
Oh God, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
You know, I understand why they want to. I mean, literally, if you think about the GOAT, I mean, to me, Bart Starr was the epitome of the GOAT. But you know, you got Brady now, who has gone to multiple teams and won Super Bowls with multiple teams. And is it one guy? No, it's a team sport, man. He's just a great leader, and he can take his leadership and make the team, help the team rise up and be the best they can be when they need them.
We all know the real GOAT is Matt Flynn.
So, look, who do you guys, I mean, John Dorn, if you're still there, David, who do you guys feel like is I'm going to say the greatest, not the best. I'm going to say in totality, overall resume, the greatest Green Bay quarterback ever. And if you think it's Starr or Favre, then fine. That's your opinion. It's fine.
Favre.
You think Favre is? And now, do you have like a specific reason why?
Most talented.
Do you have a specific reason why you think Favre is the greatest for Green Bay? Is there like an actual like in your mind a cemented reason why?
Part of it, and I'm gonna be honest, part of it is because he kind of changed the culture around there, and it went from we really don't suck no more to like he was the guy.
I
Yeah,
can't. I mean,
the way he came into the league in that first fucking game that he won for us, dude.
Bro, it was awesome. His first game, man. His first game. The way it went down.
I think with greatest, I think that matters a lot because Michael Jordan was an entire culture change, also, right? Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were huge culture changes, right? That's part of their
I never gave a damn about basketball until Michael Jordan came along. Michael Jordan made me watch basketball.
Let me follow up on that, Nick. I guess that kind of falls into the category of me thinking he's my favorite. The greatest, the greatest physically talented. It's definitely Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that's why I say you got to set the standards. Otherwise, it's all opinion based.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Outside the Super Bowls,
Ours been to 2 Super Bowls. Aaron's only been to 1. If you really want to get technical,
I think one of the greatest games was after Favre's dad died.
Yes, that showed his
game. Yeah. I was in Oakland at that game, and I'm so glad, dude. Let me tell you what. When you go to Oakland Coliseum back in the day, they have a jail in their fucking stadium. Not only that, I had already been to a bunch of Raider games. The first Raider game I ever went to, they played the Broncos, and a guy in a Broncos uniform went in the porta potty, flipping everybody off, telling them to fuck off, and they flipped the porta potty on him out in public. So me as a little kid, that was a long time ago. I'm sitting there, I'm like, I better not wear like my Green Bay stuff. My mom and dad convinced me like it's fine. His dad died. No one's gonna mess with you. So I did. And the whole game, I'm like, I want to cheer, but I don't because someone's gonna do something crazy.
One of the reasons why.
If you want to go by MVPs, yeah, Rodgers has 4, but Favre won 3 in a row, man. Yeah. 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Another thing to think about.
Yeah.
Isaac, I think
one of the reasons why the Raiders have that jail is if you look in the 80s and 90s, the black hole, the front row is full of Hells Angels.
Probably.
I didn't know that was the reason why. I just remember that. I remember watching people fight. Like every Raider game, you see someone fight, and they're taking them off to that little stadium jail to sit there until the game ends. So, way to buy tickets, get in a fight, and then not get to see the game.
Right.
But yeah, that game. Let's be honest. That's part of Favre's legend, man. I'm trying to think of a game that's part of Rodgers' legend, and to me, it's when he broke his collarbone. He came back and he won the division against the Bears when we should have never been anywhere near it. I feel like when he threw that touchdown to Cobb to end the game and win it, to me, that's like his big That's what I think of when I think of legacy games for Aaron Rodgers.
That or beating
To
the
me,
Bears
it's
one-footed.
so many though, man. Favre had so many more though. I think.
To me,
Well,
to me, it was
County
the season.
Stadium, the way he closed out County Stadium, I was fucking there, dude. That shit was shaking, man.
Yeah, bro. That was the good old days when you played in two stadiums, man. Because I lived in Chicago, and I could just, I got to see, we could just go down to Milwaukee. It's only 90 minutes away, bro. It's not a 4-hour trip to Green Bay.
So real quick, I'm going to get to John Dorn because he's got something to say. I just want to say this real quick. I'm sorry, but no matter how much you dislike Rodgers or whatever he's done at this point, you can't say he's just a legend in his own mind. He's a legend of the NFL, period, in general.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. That's man.
Yeah. Who gives a shit what these
John,
fans
is that
say?
your
Because,
sister? John, is that your sister?
Is this? Yeah, holy shit.
Who gives a shit
Lord
what
got
these
his
fans say?
sister on here
Because
and shit.
everybody that's in the NFL and analytics, Rodgers on top of that fucking mountain.
Yeah, even I wouldn't fucking. You guys know me. Even I wouldn't fucking say that shit, man.
That's it. Hey, you see that right there? We're gonna find out how good LaFleur's offensive scheme is now that
also true, right?
Love's gonna play.
Let's let John say what he was gonna say, and then I'm gonna get to that part. We're gonna move into the LaFleur Love era, and I'm actually gonna put a little tiny slash underneath that and just put Watson's name right underneath that as well. So go ahead, John.
Well, the only thing I really want to say was that, with Rodgers and Favre, I mean, any team would kill to have what we had. We've been spoiled with 2 fucking Huffs right up back to back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People would kill for what we had. I mean, we beat every fucking in the division. We're up like 30 games on the Lions. We're like only a couple games up on the Bears, but the Vikings, we were up how many games on the Vikings? They would kill to have our fucking, our fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, and even though, look, it's disappointing that we only won 2 Super Bowls. I get that part of it. All of us are disappointed.
Find to 3.
Yeah, we went to 3 though. That's right.
But at the same time, unless your team at least has 2 Super Bowls in your franchise's history, shut the fuck up. Because
dude, just get one. I mean, the Bears got one. That's it. Nobody else got shit.
At least we got to watch our team actually fucking win it twice. You know what I mean? I'm grateful.
I want to go back to that question. One of the greatest games for me is one of the greatest seasons was 2016 with Rodgers. We had so much chips stacked against us. We had the worst secondary in the league. We had injuries across the board. We converted a wide receiver to running back. Everything was stacked against us, and Rodgers just led the charge and was basically thrown to some nobodies during the season because a lot of our fucking main components were going down. Devontae Adams actually played the whole season, but Jordy Nelson had lingering injuries in the beginning of the season, and Rodgers was throwing to fucking guys like Aberdeus and shit like that, and still – just go all the way to the NFC Championship.
You're talking about when Jordy tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And then,
no. He came back to that's.
It was the next year.
It was the next
year,
2017.
How about Rodgers knocking out
the year before that when he tore his ACL and we got James Jones who just got cut by the Raiders and the Giants. James Jones shouldn't have even been on a fucking roster. We bring him back and then we still go to the playoff.
Not even that. He led the entire league in touchdowns.
How about knocking the Cowboys out of the playoffs? Aaron's good for knocking the Cowboys out of the playoffs.
Montgomery to a running back, and we're throwing to Trevor Davis. I mean, that was a crazy season.
One thing that I think that Gray was kind of getting at was the legendary games that Favre had, it was like a complete legendary game that you just remember forever. Whereas Rodgers' legendary games were kind of, as amazing as they were and as fun as they were to watch, they were kind of gimmicky in a way where it's like you needed a last second Hail Mary. And who the fuck gets a Hail Mary to connect that many times? Like, you know what I mean? Like the Cardinals game, the Lions game, where it's like last second, like just desperation and it works out. And so I think Favre had more of those complete substance type legendary games, like old school games. You know what I mean?
Well, Favre always puts you on your seat. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with Favre. I mean,
Favre gave you the first taste of you believe you can win with this guy on the field.
When he,
he gave Packer fans hope.
Sharp in the playoffs. When he hit Sterling Sharp in the playoffs, that was another great fucking play.
Against the Lions?
He ain't won shit for years, man. And
yeah.
You're talking about in the back right of the end zone against the Lions.
Yeah, dude. You don't know, dude. You don't know how long-suffering Packer fans felt in that fucking moment.
Favre gave you a belief that we could win anything with it. It didn't matter. He threw 3 touchdowns or 3 interceptions in a game, and we still won because he believed he could get out there and go down and he throw that ball so freaking hard, and two defenders be passing by, and the ball go right.
Have you seen Antonio Freeman's fingers? Antonio Freeman has
broke his fingers.
Yeah, I have
catching the ball.
My friend used to have the Packer magazine that used to show the hands of the wide receivers, all the blisters, like that, like if I'm catching footballs.
I thought Russell was still on. That was against the Lions. I wanted to make sure he heard that part.
He left a while ago, man.
Hey, Russell, that was against the Lions. You remember?
I mean, the whole who's the best quarterback. I mean, look, man, hands down, Rodgers is the most accurate as far as his stats and everything else. He's going to be your GOAT if you want to go that route. But as far as leadership and as far as who you would get behind, I guarantee if you play with Favre, you would, or watch them play, you would want to go behind him. He would be your guy. You would say, I want to follow him into fire.
Oh yeah, on the comparison. Favre threw a lot of INTs. Everybody picks on him because of his INTs.
Yes,
dude won a lot of games throwing them fucking picks.
That's what I mean.
He throw a couple picks and come back and just destroy people.
Favre wasn't intelligently calculated the way that Rodgers is. Rodgers knows exactly what. Yeah. Favre was very like, good luck, everyone. Whatever happens.
He was just tossing it up.
Favre didn't think about anything ahead. He was playing. He was playing that series at that moment. He was in the moment, and he played to win in that moment. He didn't care about he wasn't thinking about the next play. I just want to make this one, and then we'll go.
Okay.
I want to address this real quick, guys. I want to address this just real quick. I'm gonna give it back to John Dorn again, and then we're gonna go with Ken. But can we stop with this bullshit, man? That era in the 60s was hard. No, it fucking wasn't. Bro, it's like saying in the 60s basketball was harder. No, it wasn't. The talent was so deep. It's so ridiculous. The guys back then would be getting their heads kicked off, okay? It's not even comparable. Like, there really is no comparison between that era and this era. The talent is way dramatically better. Guys are faster, bigger,
stronger, bigger, everything. Everything.
But he didn't exactly put up numbers. We had a great fucking running game, and
Jim like I said,
and Paul Horning, and
bro, we ran the veer and the wishbone and all that shit.
The Packers sleep. The Packers sleep. You knew they were going to run the Packers sleep, and you couldn't stop it. You could not stop it.
So my point is, Gray, you're right. It's not like Starr was putting up like astronomical numbers that showed that he was just way better than everybody, even though I think he was better than everybody in that era, though. I do believe that.
And he had Lombardi.
Any wide receivers from the 50s and 60s get hit by Aaron Donald. See how that works out.
Are you kidding me?
How many receivers from today could get hit by Aaron Donald?
Bro, on the flip side of that, though, a lot of them guys probably wouldn't make it. But if they had the same benefits as the guys that are playing today, like the same.
Well, yeah, the training, the
exercise, and all that. A lot of them would do pretty fucking good.
Sure.
Well, you know, back then they didn't have Pup
think
Warrior
these guys
football, where
aren't
those guys were
talented.
getting bred from the ages of 8 to play football. I mean,
I'm not trying to say these guys aren't talented and they're not great
I
in their
think maybe
own
what
right.
he's trying to say is that was more. This is more of a. I mean, you got
It was more of a hard-nosed game.
They hit motherfuckers.
And that's
back then.
fine.
Maybe
That's
what he's
fine. But
talking
you
about.
can't compare the eras because the talent. Now, look, a lot of that obviously is because of the way that they train and they're raised and everything like that, right? They're fed. They're bred to be these guys now, to be these monsters. But the point is like there's no comparison.
See, back there,
and the
back
rules,
then, they didn't play
change.
for fucking money. They played to fucking hurt somebody.
well, and they
Now-
only played.
now-
And they ran so much, they only played 10 games, guys. You couldn't take a beating for 17 games. There's no way.
And the rules changed. Like, who was that one guy that had like a cup of like Stickum and poured it all over his like hands?
Oh, the ghost for the Raiders.
He played for the Raiders.
Yeah, the ghost. I can't remember what his real name is.
It started with a B.
We talking
I
about
can't-
bunch
Bunch of like fucking sticky stuff all over. He
Yeah,
had a
the
cup of it.
Stickum.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
stick 'em.
used to have it all over his socks
Jerry
there,
Rice?
and he just rub it on his hands in between each play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking
Everybody
about.
knows who it is.
Blitnikoff?
Blitnikoff.
So look,
Oh, you're talking
look,
about Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice, you stick him.
this is a show that we're really getting into the fan comments.
I'll tell you right now, you ask Jerry Rice, he'll tell you today he's the greatest wide receiver still.
So Lindsay, I get it. He was a kid on the field. He was fun to play, but don't say that Favre wasn't all about himself because he really showed a lot of true colors at the end where he was 100% all about himself. I don't have to get Rodgers. It's not in my contract. I don't have to get him ready to. But that I'm sorry. Like as much as I loved Favre and I know Gray, that's your boy and everything, and Robert, I get it. But at the same time, you can't sit there and say that that's not selfish ass bullshit to do that.
Look, man. I can't just say the guy's the greatest and then not knock him when he screwed up. I mean, the man did take Vicodin. He did have a problem. Maybe that's the reason why he was the Iron Man of football because he was popping pills to keep him playing when he was getting beat up.
He also cheated
back
on his
then they
wife.
were
That's
handing
pretty
it out like
selfish, if you
candy.
ask me. He goes to the Jets and he cheats on his wife. That's pretty Look, he's not okay. I'm not trying to shit on Favre. That's not my point here. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not the goal. My point is that this dude is not untouchable. Okay, he's not godly like the way that people present him. It's insane to me. Dave, you were about to say something. I know you have a lot of opinion on this specific subject.
I did have one real quick. But, what were we just talking about? What did she say?
Favre, she said that Favre wasn't all about himself. He was just a kid on the field. Like he really did
what I
show
was
true
gonna
colors
say
of
is,
selfishness.
This happens, Favre, Montana, Rod. This happens to
Everybody.
legendary quarterbacks, and each guy handles it differently. I don't know what it's like to be in their spot. It must suck for them to finally see, well, it's coming to an end and they're moving on. It's not brand new. It's not just the Packers. Montana, both Mannings were forced out.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on. And I can't knock Rodgers. I mean, I knock Rodgers a lot, but I don't know what he's really going through, what he really went. But to say you're 90% retired going into your little retreat doesn't really give a great message to your organization. And what do you expect them to do?
And
I
then
would
he
fucking move on as soon as I found that out. I'm calling the Jets. I'm calling whoever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want Dorn to answer this. The part where we're getting at, like, I get what you guys are saying about Rodgers. It doesn't send a good message. It doesn't. Remember in the chat, I was saying if Rodgers is going to be back, he needs to full blown be 150% this time, or else I don't want him back. Like, I need you to be there. Like, I need you to be 100%, dude. But so we were talking about. There's just no way that you can sit there and say that Favre was just so unselfish and was just so amazing and great and holy. It didn't happen that way.
He wasn't, man. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
People have very blind nostalgia for whatever reason when it comes to Favre. I remember a whole heinous amount of hostility and
we just got sick of him retiring, unretiring. That's basically what happened to Favre.
Bro, you made me cry twice watching him retire, bro. Are you kidding me, man?
With Rodgers, I mean, you can see last year, Rodgers did not play like himself. I mean, You look at the Lions game, 3 interceptions in the red zone. How many times he actually threw interceptions in the red zone? That wasn't fucking Rodgers. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, if you want to dissect that, I mean, to me, if I'm Rodgers and I tell this organization we're going to sign a 3-year deal, and then they take away my best guys and don't replace them with anybody, I'm gonna be a little pissed off, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to go out on top. I'm not trying to fucking be struggling. And I mean, at this point in my career, why can't you take one of those fucking first round draft picks we got and get me some talent in here so I got someone I can throw to?
But one thing about it, though,
I'm not trying to air out Favre's dirty laundry and everything, but if social media was prominent, just like how it is with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my God!
You know how bad Favre would be shitted on, especially like what he sent a dick pic to some fucking girl right after
Like
his wife
a
announced
reporter.
cancer.
Yeah.
It was a secretary. It wasn't a reporter. It was a secretary.
Hey, word on the street is Aaron Rodgers got his ready now.
Hey, look, Sterling jumped in a hot tub with a bunch of teenagers. I mean, what the hell, bro? What were these guys thinking?
You think Rodgers gets to New York? He's like, hey, I heard your secretaries are really sporadic with their decisions out here.
At the same time, I can understand what like Gray and everybody's getting at, because I did watch fucking both decades with, Rodgers and Favre. And Favre did take us out of that dark hole, no pun intended for Rodgers, but like it took us out of that dark hole of, being shitty in the 80s and 70s and then a little bit into the 90s. And then Favre basically took us out of that. That's why he's more decorated in Green Bay, is he took us out of that decade where we sucked ass and didn't even make the playoffs like once or twice with that time.
Here's the better question, because Rodgers is a better statistician. What if Rodgers came before Favre? What if we had Rodgers and Rodgers was who lifted us out of there?
What was that last?
Oh my God! You think there's a love affair for Rodgers now? It would be past what it was.
Hold on, real quick. Ray, we're going to get to this. We're going to get to this. I swear we're going to get to this part.
Okay.
I want to get to one last part just real quick. I don't believe that, it was just tougher back then because, dude, this is just like 90s basketball. For whatever reason, everybody thinks, look, they may be bigger and stronger now, but they didn't have near the toughness. It's not true. Guys play with torn ACLs these days. Rodgers played with a broken fucking hand all day, broken rib. Guys play with all sorts of shit these days. So as tough as they were back in the day, I get it. It's just like 90s basketball where it's like, apparently everybody that played Michael Jordan had a metal bat and a bunch of steel cage hairs, and they beat the shit out of him every time he touched the ball. Like, dude, it just didn't happen that way.
Well, you remember Chuck Cecil?
Oh yeah. Well, that's because he speared everybody. Led with his helmet, and it would come down and bust on his nose, man.
Here's the thing: those small, those very few rare moments that happened, they now turn into every game that ever happened. Someone beat the shit out of someone, and there was Toothless Joe over there knocking a dude out. It just didn't happen like that. Okay?
Well, the NFL has changed a lot of rules, and the equipment has changed just because of the impact, and they had to, because it's a hard hitting game, and it doesn't matter what era. You just catch a guy at the right angle, and you're. I mean, look at Dantzler. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, we watched that guy die on the field. Never seen that before on TV.
Also, the NFL.
I don't think they're.
Who the hell did Hines Ward lay out?
But
I agree. I don't think it's tougher and it's less tough. I think
the rules were different back then. I think
it's dependent.
Well, linemen used to be able to slap the guy upside the head to take a snap.
Look, let's be honest, guys. The linebackers today, for example, if they're hitting the guys in the 60s, all their legs are broken. All their shit.
I'm pretty sure.
You have to change the rules. You have to do things to protect guys, because as you get faster, as you get stronger, bigger, everything, all these things that we do now that makes you better, dude, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get seriously hurt if you don't protect these guys.
Well, and that's why they got more quarterback rules, because we didn't pass a lot back in the day,
Yeah, the rules changed too, because all these old fucking players are having fucking mental problems, and they're suing the NFL. They're suing in the NFL. The lawsuits for the NFL from 2000, 18 to now
way before that, the junior
Yeah,
Seau case,
even before that. Yeah,
the
way
junior
before
Seau
that.
case was the thing that really like
Players
broke
that are
open
retired.
everything.
Yes, that put it on the map.
Older players that are retired are suing the NFL at an astounding rate. So it's not just the players of today that want the rule change. It's the older players that are having fucking all these chronic pains and problems that are suing the NFL for not having safety equipment like that they have today.
Well, I'm going to get to this Jordan Love part. I'm just going to say this last part about it. I know that when I have troubles walking upstairs and shit like that, I didn't play in the NFL, but I played for a very, very long time. I know it's probably not from high school football. It's probably more from when I was playing 8, 9, 10 years old football, because there is really no rules. Like you can't do it like, men playing football. It's just all just smashing your head into everything and fucking up your back and everything while you're trying to develop. Dude, football's a heinous game, man. It's bad for your body. It's bad for your brain. That's just a fact. And
were you just a kipper?
I hate when people are. Yeah. I hate when people try to be like, well, the rules, they don't need to keep being changed. Yeah, they actually kind of do, because if you don't change the rules, guys are going to get really, really, really hurt. And the NFL is going to go bankrupt at some point. You know what I mean? Like,
you remember how many guys were getting injured between like 2010 to like 12, 13. You were having dudes getting laid out like that. Granted, it was made for an entertaining product, but you were taking years off of guys' lives.
Yeah, but sometimes those stupid freak accidents like Jordy Nelson, he jumped up, caught a pass, and landed, and his season was done.
That was turf.
I'm more talking like
that's part of it. The turf has changed. The equipment that we use,
Hines wardling the dude out.
The other bad situation is that, when you change the rules for them to hit lower, now more ACLs are being torn and, everything like that. So, like, they kind of have to try to find some gray area in these rules and these, to like.
It's not just that, though. Do you guys remember when Sam Shields didn't get up? Like,
yeah,
it's stuff like that where it's like a guy hits a dude so hard with his helmet all the way down, and then he doesn't get up, and you're like, man.
Well, and that's what John Dorn was talking about. Chuck Cecil, that guy used to lead with his head. How did he not have a broke neck somewhere, or how did he not kill somebody?
The big pad.
What about Brian Cushing taking off his helmet and
oh my god, I forgot about that.
All right, so look. We got to move on to our next subject. David Gray, I'm going to let you take this one away. You felt very passionate about this. I also feel passionately disrespectful towards this comment, but you go ahead and take it away.
I mean, that's just really stupid to even think that anybody will be Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is himself, man.
Yeah.
Don't expect Jordan Love to be Aaron Rodgers. Expect Jordan Love to be Jordan Love. We ain't seen nothing from Jordan Love.
And we don't want Love to be Rodgers. We want him to be Love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to see what Love can be.
Am I skeptical? I am definitely skeptical going in this season. I don't know what I've seen from Jordan Love, but do I have faith in him? Fuck yeah, I have faith in him. He's a first-round pick for a reason.
Yep. I agree with you on that. That's what he's got going for him.
He really fucking sucks. I can't really say nothing about him.
Till he gets his shot, right? He needs a shot.
He showed that he jumped up. Yeah.
I need to see him lead the team.
I love the pick. I love when we made the pick.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly did. He took a chance. You wanted your guy.
Really,
he was coming off a broken collarbone, and he didn't really look too good in 2019. It looked like that collarbone was affecting him. So you have a chance to take a first round, and maybe he was a second round. Maybe he could have slipped in the second round. The Colts wanted him, but yeah, it was absolutely a gamble. It worked for Aaron Rodgers when we gambled and took him. So you have to do that.
I wholeheartedly disagree with this. I already think
like you guys are just like hating on this dude for what?
Maybe I'm not hating on anybody.
Maybe he will be a bust, but from what you've seen so far, you really can honestly say, "Oh yeah, he's going to be a bust." No, that's just your love for Aaron Rodgers and hating that he's gone. Talking right there. That's all.
The things that I've seen from Love so far, it doesn't say bust to me. And Pat McAfee even mentioned it before Rodgers got on his show. He was talking about how everyone's talking about in the Packers camp, especially the quarterback coach. Everyone's talking about how Love's mechanics have gotten way better, and they started talking about he kind of throws the ball like a young Aaron Rodgers. Now, they weren't trying to say he is Aaron Rodgers. They're just saying it kind of looks like when we had a young Aaron Rodgers, and you're seeing this young guy zip the ball the way he is. Bro, the things I see from Love, I've said it since day one when we first got him. His pocket presence and his footwork in the pocket, I love it, man, because he doesn't scramble and freak out. Instead, he takes the steps back that he needs to and the steps forward that he needs to get into the pocket. He makes his reads. He doesn't panic the way that I see other guys panic.
Let me add one more thing. I'll even be honest. I was not wanting Christian Watson. I wanted George Pickens. And I was like, this dude ain't shit. He keeps getting hurt. And then boom, look at what he fucking did. And I ate crow, man. Like, dude, he's pretty fucking good, dude. Like, I'm not going to make that mistake with Jordan Love. I mean, it's different because I like Jordan Love from the beginning, and I didn't really like the Watson pick. But
have you seen
the whole problem? There's the problem with the Love. It's not. I don't
like
know
the Watson pick now, though. I'm sorry, Rob. I'll get you.
I like the
no, it's cool. It's cool.
The Watson pick is the shit now, isn't it?
He really didn't take long to change my mind. He's fucking fast.
It took half a season, bro. It took half a season. Come on, man.
That reverse he took on the Bears, you saw his speed right there. Where he just worked the whole fucking team, man. I won. So I'm just gonna say real quick. I'm gonna give it to Rob. You can ask my wife. When Love got drafted, the day he got drafted, and we were watching the draft and everything, I jumped around my house and I fucking hurrayed and I went, "What?" I've watched him for a long time, and I was so ecstatic. I like Jordan Love a lot, but that's because I watch a lot of Utah State, obviously, because I live right next to them. I'm just saying, when I watched the kid and we drafted him, my wife was like, "Why are you so happy?" I was like, "Because this is the next guy."
You have to take that chance. If it doesn't work out, you know what? The quarterbacks that are coming out nowadays are totally different.
If it doesn't work out, that's sports.
Quarterbacks are coming out, man.
If it doesn't work out, that's sports, man.
NFL is full of first-round busts, man. The only thing is they find out in the first 1 or 2 years. The problem I have with this whole thing is we may find out in his 4th or 5th year if he's going to be worth it. And I mean, yeah, we're only out a first-year contract, which that to me,
you got to gamble sometimes, though, Robert.
I agree, but every year's a gamble, man. Look, everybody's like, "Oh, the Bears are rebuild." Look, every year is a rebuild, man, for a lot of teams, man, because they just don't got the formula down. They don't have.
Another thing that bugs me is like you're going to go back to the 70s and 80s, and everybody fucking says it. I can understand rival fans saying that, but your own fan, like. Do you know?
Yeah, I don't understand that.
It's a totally different league. There's free agency for one. Yeah. There was no free agency in the 70s and 80s. You built your team through the draft and the draft only.
I don't like this comment because I hate how, for whatever reason, with Jordan Love, they did this to Rodgers too, by the way. They didn't do this with Brett Favre, where they put him in this little petri dish, this little vial, where it was like, you have 17 games to show us. You have 16 games. That's not it, man. He's got 3 years, in my opinion, to show us if he can develop.
What was Aaron Rodgers' record in his first fucking
6 and 10?
Yeah, it was not. Yeah.
You gave him 16 games, buddy? Fuck you.
They re-signed him. They re-signed him the 5th game in. They re-signed his contract.
I just don't like what people are doing to Love. They're giving him like a rock in a hard place where it's like, well, if you do good, we still think that you're probably not going to be good. But if you don't do good, well, then you need to go. Like, no, that's not the case, man.
I can see the commercials.
Jordan Love needs to be given a sufficient amount of years, and he needs to be given a team that's comparable to, the talent around him to help him actually succeed, which
you too will
know. He has all of that. He's got it, man. He's got it.
The commercials. Wait a minute, Rob.
I don't think this year our offense you can say he has everything he needs to succeed right away. I think it's going to be a learning experience because he's got young receivers. So
Well, this is going to be on Goody to go get him a veteran wide receiver, go get a decent tight end. I mean, this is where Goody, this is his job. He's got to fill in the holes. He's got to come up with he's got to fill the O-line with the plug because, I mean, I don't know if Bach, how many more years has Bach got? I mean, we got to protect Love. Love is our future.
Hey,
he needs some protection.
Right there,
everybody.
man. A first and a second for a guy that didn't want to play on your team no more. And
That's great.
That was
It's a great pick.
I'll take a first and a second.
Yeah, how are you saying that was screwed?
Yeah, we got Watson out there, deal.
Dude, Mike Fleck, what do you really want for Adams, dude? Granted, he's great.
Relax.
Do you know what the market is? I mean, come on, man.
go ahead, Isaac.
And not only that,
Hold on, Rob. Hold on. Give it to Isaac. We're gonna. I want to give it to Isaac, Ken. We're gonna go Dorn, and then Rob, and then Dave. We're gonna go around this whole horn.
I got a big mouth, so I can sit back for a while, bro.
Oh, you got this next year, right? Right? You got one of these next year? We got it.
Yeah, no worries, bro. This is hey, I love this man, but I'm ready to move on.
You give a stick and a fork at Aaron Rodgers or what?
No. I just don't want the hate, man. I don't want the hate. I don't like the shade on players that did a lot for us.
He's talking about he's talking about one of the groups that I created. I have this thing where if a team isn't going to make the playoffs or they're just not good, I stick a fork in them and I have them on a fork and they're done. You know. So he's saying, are you going to stick a fork in Rodgers now?
You should do. Hey, that should be a weekly segment on here, Nick. Let's go. Come on, man.
All right. Hey.
I would do it. We all should submit a weekly who we put a fork in or something.
I'll have a fork ready. And it's going to be Ken's beard.
Spin it around like some pasta on the end.
the first Frozen Tundra Network fork, stick a fork in them, they're done, is going to be Ken's beard, and we'll move on from there. Isaac, you have the floor. Go for it, bro.
Everybody relax. Shout out to Rodgers. Show love to love. That's going to be the new motto right now. I mean, I think, this new generation, we got to show love as much respect as we can. You know what I mean? We're not going to judge them off of first year. And I know Bears fans are going to fucking try to say something. Well, you didn't give Fields a chance. Well, this is not fucking the Bears. And this is Green Bay. You know what I mean? This is Green Bay.
Well, besides that, Fields has already had his chance for a season, bro.
Yeah, he already had his chance.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, we already seen his ass. He's not it, so...
And I'm excited what's going to happen with Green Bay because, we're going to have that cap space. We're going to make some moves. And I think Gutekunst, as much as some people are still on the fence of him being a GM, he has shown that he can make the moves. He does go through free agency. He does look at other things. He looks at, when we're missing some players, he does look at fucking ways to fill those positions. And we like a lot of these two-way players. If you look at a lot of Green Bay players and the young players that we're bringing in, they're two-way players. Watson, you can hand him the ball or you can throw him the ball.
Nixon.
DeGuara, even though he hasn't panned out as a tight end, he played a fullback and a tight end in college. We have those players that can transition to different areas of the game. That's going to help Love's development a lot.
So okay. I agree with everything you just said. That was a lot of.
Yeah, that was great. I was like,
that was good.
That was, man.
I want John Dorn and Ken. I want you guys to tag team this one right here.
All right.
Oh God.
Oh, Murphy and the GM both need to go. Wow.
Man.
Ask him why. I want to know why. Why?
Well, yeah, exactly. Why would you even think that?
He doesn't. He's old. He's going to be too old anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Murphy, I can see why. I got issues with Murphy, bro.
Murphy has 4 years up anyway.
We got Dorn and we got Ken. You guys are going to give us everything that you want to go. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Dorn first.
Robert has an issue with Murphy, though.
Ken's going to go off of what Dorn says. Go ahead, Dorn.
Well, like Dave said, Murphy, he's one he can go, but he's got 2 more years. Let him do his little thing for 2 more years. It's not that bad. But for GM, Goots, man, people would kill to have Goots. I mean, look what he did to our team. Look at his record. You know what I mean? His record is damn good.
What?
I'm sorry,
John. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But you can say that he had Rodgers. You can say that. But you know what? I mean, okay, look at the Lions. Look at their record. What is it, 12-21 and 1? I mean, people say, well, we don't got Rodgers. Well, your GM went out and fucking got their guy. They went to go get fucking Goff. That's a guy they wanted. It's not our fault that you were fucking 12. You know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. They are building something good. Don't get me wrong. They are building something good. But to call Goods for his job, that's crazy. That's just crazy talk right there.
Let me add on to that, John, because Aaron Rodgers said today that it takes a whole team to win. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact quote, but it takes a whole team. The reason football is so better than any other sport is because it takes a whole team to win. Okay.
Exactly.
Correct.
So when he says Murphy and the GM both need to go, I'm assuming, that he says that Rodgers didn't get no help. Okay. How did he not get no help? That GM and Ted Thompson before him have built how many number 1 seeds? How many times have they been to the playoff? They built them teams. Okay. Now, if you want to say Rodgers is great, yeah, he's great. He does add a lot to that. But you're also kind of saying that you're talking shit about the rest of the team. Like,
no, well, in defense of that, we drafted wide receivers lower down because we had such a great quarterback. Imagine if we would have went after a higher caliber wide receiver and gave that.
Look who we drafted in the second round. We drafted Jordy Nelson. We got Donald Driver in the 7th round. We got Devontae Adams in the 2nd round. That whole first round wide receiver bullshit is just, man, it's just so old, dude.
But there's plenty of cases where look at Megatron. I mean, there's a lot of first round picks that actually do pan out. And to put all this money into Rodgers, I mean, I understand you're putting a lot of money on one side of the ball if you go with a big name wide receiver as well. But I just think a guy with that kind of talent deserves to have something like that.
This GM
Great. I like how
winning
you
teams.
said that.
This GM built consistently winning teams and got how many number 1 seeds? And I mean, what more do you want from the guy?
Yeah, and you got to remember too.
I want the Super Bowl, bro. I want the Super Bowl.
Everybody, hey, this is a controlled environment. We're going to give it to Ken right now. Ken, go ahead. And then we're going to go to Gray next. And Rob, you're up after that.
I'm here, man.
Remember one thing though, we're always drafted towards the back of the fucking pick, or pick 1. We're always going to way the back.
Yeah, my problem with Thompson was, like you said, we were drafting in the back, and even not getting the first round receiver, whatever. My thing was he never, in the later stages of his career, went and would get these big name free agents. It was that we were rolling over the cap in the next year, and we would never use it. That was my problem with him. Now, Gutekunst, I love his drafting. I really do. And his free agents during the year. But it's when the free agency period starts is when I wouldn't say directly when it starts, but more towards the beginning is where I have more of the problem with him. Because when he did do it, he did great with getting the Smith brothers and all that.
Russell Douglas was my favorite pickup of
yeah. That was an in-season one.
He's got a nose for finding them. I got to give him that.
Well, yeah, for the in-season picking somebody up that your team desperately needs, he's outstanding. It's just building that team in the beginning of the year. It's almost like he has too much faith into what he already has there, into his draft picks or who he had brought on before. And, we don't need to bring in an outside guy because we have my guy.
I like how...
Yeah, I'm not saying to get rid of him.
Driver. I like how Gray said Donald Driver. Donald Driver.
I think that Goots' free agency is more impressive than his drafting so far because even with Ted Thompson, we had some we had some we had some drafts where it's like, look, the defensive drafts were terrible, but we had some draft picks in the second round for wide receivers. We had some offensive linemen in the 5th and 4th round that all of a sudden you're like, Jesus, man, that was a great pick.
It would be the Washington though on the first
What makes me
round.
mad is we always draft and develop, and it's kind of, you get kind of frustrated like that. It's like, God, you want to see a guy on field right away. You know what I mean?
But I do think Goo has a better balance than Thompson had. Where Goo is finding good offensive guys to draft, but he's finding good defensive guys, not just to sign, but to draft also. That's balancing the team. That's something Ted Thompson never had. Ted Thompson never, ever created a balanced team outside of 2008 to 2010. Outside of that, there was never a balance.
Oh, my favorite. I forget both their names now, but the 2 safeties we drafted to play cornerback.
Rollins and Demetrius Randall.
Yes.
Demarius Randall.
Yeah,
Demarius Randall. Yeah.
Demarius Randall was a bum who was a head case who yelled at the coaches and told them to fuck off, so they got rid of him. And Rollins was just absolutely terrible.
So there's been players that just blow up in they don't do well.
But I didn't hear about those parts of it.
I wish we would have kept the other. I wish we would have kept the other cornerback safety. His name is Micah Hyde, and the fact that we got rid of him,
absolutely, that's one that was been a kick in the nuts. Because being here in upstate New York, I see him all the time.
Micah Hyde, like why? They were great for us, and you just got rid of them. Why?
Casey Hayward, and he had 8 interceptions for the charge next year. I was like, oh, fucking great.
And Micah Hyde is one of the best hybrids you'll find anywhere, man.
That's a great question right there too. We need
who's a backup?
Yeah,
that's why I left it up. I left it up this whole time because this is what I want to talk about next. So before I give this question context, go ahead, A-Dub. The floor is yours. We're gonna give it to you right now since.
I can't even see A-Dub. He's blocked by the messages. The comments are covering him
up. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry on here. Just had a long day. But I was just trying to catch on what y'all been discussing in regards to Rodgers deciding he wants to be a Jet.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm more than okay with if I was to think long and hard about it, I'm not surprised this decision ever came out like I expected this coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure at some point he was gonna be prepared to leave. And what really gets me is the way he left the comments that he made about the team.
That's what we were talking about too. It was very you wanted to feel bad for the guy, but then there was parts of it where you're like, I feel like you're kind of being a dick about this now.
It was
like
kind of like a pity
condescending.
Party. Like he wanted a pity party. He wanted all his little fanboys to worship him.
I think honestly he was just playing because the fan base is so split. He made a comment for both sides. Honestly, bro, that's what it feels like.
Let's be honest. The worst thing you can do, because we've all met people like this, the worst thing you can do is play both sides. Like, come on, man. You got to
say what people want to hear. Say what people want to hear. That's
my biggest thing was you said you were 90% retired going into your little.
When did he say that in the because I didn't watch the interview. I just caught the clips later. I couldn't do it.
When that was asked about, he was asked.
That was one of the first things he was asked was about retiring.
And he said he was 90%. Like, what do you expect us as an organization and a fan base to? Like that shit wouldn't have fly with Favre either. It didn't.
No, that's basically doing what Favre did. Retire. It's just the opposite. Retiring and then waiting till the offseason to say, "Hey guys, I want back in."
Then you want to put the blame. All of a sudden, you went into some fucking darkness, and then you want to come out saying you putting the blame on the organization.
Who the hell started this darkness retreat?
Like, really, you're putting the blame on the organization? Like,
I believe it was stupidest. I believe it was Humboldt, California that started the
That's got to be the most stupid. When I come out of my darkness retreat, I'll have an answer for you. Who the fuck does that?
But that was one of the first things we asked. And he gave he gave this really weird response where it was like,
Mhm.
oh, I was pretty sure I was going to retire, but then I hallucinated, and then I got my food at 6 p.m. every day. And when you got your food, you start really thinking about stuff. And then all of a sudden I got out of the retreat.
Your blood sugar level doesn't drop.
So he didn't actually say that when he got out of the retreat,
And all
he was
that
ready to
stuff
play
about
football.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he said he got
Aaron
a bunch
Rodgers,
of text
everybody
messages.
complaining about Aaron Rodgers drama. It's like dude, he brings it on himself. Like,
well, you know what? In this day and age with fucking media, I mean, look, the president could tweet something out. Why the hell couldn't Rodgers just say what's up, put it out there from his shit, and that's that?
Just for context, Rodgers didn't say that when he got out of that darkness, immediately he was like, you know what, I want to play football. That's not what he said. What he said was he realized that he wanted to start working out and seeing if maybe he could play football again because he was still on the retirement side. So I think when he gets out of that retreat and he's still kind of like, well, let me see if I can still play football. I think that really ties into what Gray's saying, where it's like, dude, the organization's sitting there like, are we going to sit here and do this for like months until the day of? Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I think part of it.
One more thing, Jordan Love was Goots' pick. Jordan Love was Goots' pick. He has to move on when he's 90% committed to retiring. That is Goots' pick.
What really got Rodgers
he's gonna forever be remembered for Jordan Love.
Yeah, and with how he, with how
if your current quarterback, you just gave 100.
We're gonna give it to Isaac.
Yeah, I think what really ticked off Rodgers after that is he said he opened up his text messages when he got Wi-Fi back from the phone, and he saw the comments Mark Murphy was making, and that's what fucking kind of led Rodgers into that tirade.
I don't even think it was only that. He said he had gotten the text messages from them too.
Murphy was kind of talking.
So they apparently said something to him that really pissed in his Cheerios.
Murphy's the fucking top dog. What do you expect? At any company you work at, the top dog, you know what? I mean, if you ain't really committed to us, you know what? I mean, we can replace you.
Dave, he could have also seen it as them not being committed to him with not getting a receiver.
That's just ego, bro. That's ego right there. That's just as bad as Rodgers. That's no different than Rodgers, bro.
Yeah, can you not admit that in that moment in time, I understand what you're saying about Rodgers going into this retreat and what that means to others, but when Rodgers is talking about what Murphy is doing in this interim, can you not admit that both sides are now swinging dicks at this point?
Yeah,
it's like,
that's what caused this. That's what caused this, bro. Both sides having a different way of thinking, man.
That leads me to believe there was conversations before this darkness retreat. There's been conversations.
Yes, I guarantee there's stuff we don't know about.
He even said, if you watch that interview, he even said in that interview later on, he even said, well, I kind of got that feeling throughout the year that they were ready to move on. He said them fucking exact.
But Greg, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. If Murphy didn't make those comments, do you think that conversation would be the same what Rodgers was saying?
No.
I think Rodgers will have a little
Murphy
bit
knew what
change
he
of
was
the
doing.
tune.
Murphy was kind of
I think you're right.
I think this was a setup, man.
I think Murphy was opening up the door and pushing Rodgers out. I really think that. I think he's now look, again,
he was taking a bullet for Goot.
I don't think any of us are saying that like this is the wrong move or the right move. What we're saying is like the writing was on the wall. Let's all be honest. Like when this season ended, I feel like there was a lot of writing on the wall.
Clearly, we wasted a year though. We wasted a year though.
At the same time, when you have a pendulum and you have Rodgers over here and Murphy over here and Goot right in the middle with the fans smashed in the middle, that's shitty, man. It's a shitty way to do it.
Yeah, the whole thing, the way they handled this is like it's terrible.
Yeah, it was a petty game, and then we're going to see who was going to be the bigger asshole.
Well, the thing about it, you know
like
what?
you said, it was something in dicks and a piston match.
That's a pissing contest. Basically, all it was.
You don't have to worry about it no more. We got the number 10 now, and we just got to be behind his back and go.
No, John, because this is all fine and well until we're talking about this with Love in 10 years. The same shit, doing the same shit.
No, don't say that. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Jordan Love signs with the Jets in 2040.
Oh,
it could happen, bro. If you had told me Rodgers was going to do exactly what Favre did, I would have called you a liar.
if Jordan Love wins a Super Bowl in Green Bay and then goes to the Jets later on in his career, I swear on everything I love, I'm gonna go to a Jets game and I'm just gonna randomly punch a fan in the face just for no reason. Just for being a Jets fan. I'm like, hey, Favre, Rodgers, Love, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
A-Dub, I'm gonna give the floor to you. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was trying to go back to that part about Dave when Rodgers would blame the organization for everything. I felt that was a part that rubbed me the wrong way about how much blame you could put on Green Bay for everything wrong that took place in your life with much as like, let's be honest. For the year Green Bay, you've many opportunities to win Super Bowl with the teams you've had put together every other year. And the reason they kept you there. You always gave us a chance to compete in the playoffs, and we always had a winning you till last season. And it's like, can you at least take some accountability for some of the moments that went bad in your life being your own fault, especially when you usually had us in cap hell, taking so much out the organization that we couldn't build around you to begin with? Like, you've had them complaints before that the organization didn't do enough of building around you, but how can they?
I don't understand any complaints, though. I just don't understand any complaints, man.
There's so much rebuttal that I have towards part of that where Aaron Rodgers has made
right now,
Jack
Nick doesn't agree totally with that.
Bro, Aaron Rodgers has made jack shit for a long time, even when he was winning his first MVP, making jack shit in the team. Dude, the team at one point had 30, 40, 50 million in cap, and they got nobody worth the shit to bring to the team. Their free agency was garbage. They drafted a bunch of bums on defense that didn't help the 32nd ranked defense become, I guess the 28th ranked defense. Congratulations.
But just think, if he didn't have tunnel vision, we could have been on Super Bowl already.
Maybe. Okay, fine.
If he already didn't tear his knee, we would have went too.
There are moments that you can speak of where it's like, look, Rodgers fucked up, especially the Niners game, the last wild card. Not wild card, it was the first divisional game. Aaron Rodgers, you sucked that day. You fucking sucked. Just say that you fucking sucked that day and we lost. Because when you lose 13-10, that's your fault. That's 100% your fault. Now, when we lose the Bucks 31-25 and Rodgers outplayed everybody on the living fucking field, anybody that was on that field, Rodgers was the best player on the field that day. When Devontae Adams drops a touchdown, Kevin King gives up a touchdown, Aaron Jones fumbles the ball that resulted in a touchdown. Fucking Alan Lazard's shoulder pad got ripped off.
Well, that's the whole point, man. If you win as a team, you lose as a team. Stop saying this is blaming other sides because, we all are in together, man. Even the fans. I mean, I want to see us win, but if we lose, we lose together, man. Fuck that shit. I'm not blaming nobody.
Rodgers definitely has there are moments, key moments, like for example, in the NFC Championship game against the Seahawks. I get that Bostic dropped that fucking kick. I get it. Dude, we would have won if that didn't happen. I totally get that. But if you didn't throw those interceptions and you played better that day, we win regardless of that shit.
How many
field
goals did we kick that game? How many short field goals did we kick that game?
Exactly. Yeah, we should have put the ball in the end zone. 3-3-3.
There was one that Rodgers did put in the end zone, and Richard Sherman picks it off. Like, there was one where Rodgers threw it in the back of the end zone, and we were about to score, and Sherman picks it off with an easy interception. I remember sitting there going, what the fuck are we doing? Dude,
I'll agree with you on the Tampa game. He did have a great game. He's probably the best player on the team. But
he could have ran it in.
Third and 8 when he didn't run it. He didn't even try to run it, and he
should have ran it.
That'll always stick in my head. That was
will too. I'm with you on that 100%.
Dave, here's the thing that exonerates that is he wasn't just the best player on the team. He was the best player in the game that day. When we were down,
Favre, he would have ran it.
Right, it was 21-7, I believe we were down, and all of a sudden Rodgers starts charging us the fuck back, making crazy throws. All of a sudden, but wait. Then Lazard gets held and they don't call it. Like that was a clear hold and he intercepts the ball because of it. Should have never been an interception. Should have been moving down the field. That hold that they called on Kevin King at the end of the game, that's bullshit, man. First of all, you didn't impede him. You just pulled the elastic part of his fucking underneath shirt. You didn't actually impede him. You could have let it go. First of all, you overthrew the living shit out of him. It was an uncatchable ball. Dude, there was so much to that game.
In that same play, Gary was being held by his neck.
Right here. Yep, right here like that.
You can see it. Like, and you don't even need slow motion for it. Gary the whole time was getting his neck jarred.
I know
nothing
me and you
was being
argued
called.
about this, Dick, about the interception that you're talking about. And he kind of does have a habit of trying to throw a ball where he hopes to get a flag. And that was one of them times where he was hoping he got a flag. And it was a tight – I mean, he had tight coverage on the guy. Yeah, did he grab him? Yeah, he definitely
pulled his whole jersey over his shoulder pad.
I mean, he was
That's
on.
a situational pass where you put a
can't
word.
really force that ball in that, and you're into the end zone with what? 20
Well, let's be honest. But wait. Here's a part of it. Though.
Sometimes you got to gamble.
Aaron Rodgers is so good at what he does.
He
Can throw a receiver open.
Dude.
Instead of a receiver getting open
on the clock, dude.
Instead of a receiver getting open, Rodgers can throw a receiver open.
It was
with
horrible
his
luck that he threw that pick. Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't the greatest throw either. I mean, I don't know, man.
It doesn't.
No, it wasn't his finest moment. We were talking about Rodgers' best games, but that was not his best game.
Remember how many times we played Matt Stafford, and they're actually kicking the shit out of us, and he throws some fucking stupid ass pick, and we get back in the game, and we come back and win the fucking game. That's what it felt. It kind of felt like it was a Matt Stafford throw. Like, dude, what are you doing, man? You don't really need to throw that ball. You don't need to look for the flag on that. Just throw it away.
Aaron Rodgers played better than most quarterbacks do ever in an NFC Championship game. Almost flawless.
But when we were down, I think it was like 14-7, and we got the ball or something. I don't remember. But he had Lazard wide open. The dude literally fell down. He had Lazard.
That was against the Niners. That was against the Niners.
Yeah.
No, that was against.
There was
Tampa.
a play where there was a.
Lazard was wide open against
Bay.
Tampa.
There was a play
before halftime, before the pick.
You're talking about the Niners game. The Tampa game.
No, it was Tampa. I know it was Tampa.
We didn't have the ball at the end of the half.
Lazard was wide open, and he forced it into Adams instead.
We didn't have the ball at the end of the half.
Yeah.
It was before the pick. I'll show you it, Nick. I'll DM you it later. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not hating on AR, dude.
Yeah.
There's a difference between hating on him and being totally honest with him.
No, he's made some bad dude. He's made some bad decisions down the line in the.
We're going to give it to A-Dub. My point was that there are games that people, for whatever reason, want to blame it. There's no way you can blame Rodgers for that game. There's just no fucking way.
What about the Lions game?
Not totally. No.
What about the Lions first game?
It's one play out of 60, man. You can't take one play out of 60 and say that's his whole man. It's not the way it is. You can't. It's hard to be 100% at everything, man. And Rodgers statistically has been the greatest quarterback we've had on our team ever.
You remember when John Elway ran that fucking ball against us in the Super Bowl and he did some helicopter type shit?
I cried when that happened.
I cried too, man. I was there crying, man. Trust me.
Why couldn't we get that heart into it? Like, you really want to fucking win, dude. You're not going to force it into Adams and into triple fucking coverage. Run the fucking ball. Okay, he was close. He might have tackled you. We're
gonna give it to A-Dub, and we're gonna keep going with this. But A-Dub had a lot to say. I want him to have the floor, and then we're gonna go with John Dorn also.
I was going to say another thing about that game that really gets me is how we're only going to have 6 points off of 3 turnovers in that game.
We scored a touchdown. If you guys remember correctly, the second possession that we had on that interception, Rodgers had a guy open deep, and he gets fucking drilled as he throws the ball, and it sputters into nowhere onto the 50-yard line. That's not like, bro, he had no protection. He had 0.2 seconds to throw that ball. And he's trying to get it to the dude down the field, and he gets drilled the second he does. Now, if you remember the third interception, he threw a ball on 3rd and I believe it was 8, right to Lazard, right in his hands, right where the first down line was, and he drops it. Right in front of him, right in his hands. So it's so much more context than just like, how come Aaron Rodgers first down, or how come he didn't get a touchdown on these? Dude, it's so much more than that. Like, we did not play good. For whatever reason, Aaron Rodgers was the only guy on the team that played good that day. He was the only one that showed up. Everyone else did everything they possibly could to make sure that we lost that game, it felt like. Like, when Aaron Jones fumbles the ball against the Lions in Week 18, I'm sorry, but that completely – we were about to score. We were about to score, going to halftime, kicking the fuck out of them. That completely changed the game. Absolutely changed every aspect of that game.
Oh, yeah, it's like when Mercedes fumbled against the Niners there. It sucked the whole life right out of the team.
Yeah,
but Rodgers gets paid enough to fucking get us out of that. That's what he's getting paid for.
I understand that part of it, and I'm not saying that Rodgers doesn't deserve like any blame. I'm just saying, for whatever reason, Rodgers gets more blame than I swear most quarterbacks
do. That's what quarterbacks do. I mean, look at last year against the Lions. First game against the Lions, 3 interceptions in the red zone. Come on, man, that's not like Rodgers. But
all right, well, so is it fair to put all that blame on Rodgers, especially if you don't go get him some players, like, you know, so some first rounders, some star guys? I mean, to me, it doesn't seem fair. I mean, you can't just say, "Hey, well, did you do your best to give him everything he could do to succeed?" I mean, we're going to point the blame at one guy and say this is why we.
If he would come in for OTAs and mini camps and stuff, maybe he had more time with the guys. And
no, come on, man. That doesn't. There's a lot of years he didn't show up for OTAs, and we did very well.
Yes, in there and fucking work with these guys. Not fucking be on some fucking vacation somewhere.
I mean, he's 39 and he's done this for so long.
I know he's trying to go the whole season. I mean, I could see when he was young. I mean, he carried the team for a lot of years in those years, man. He really did. He put the team on his back. He's just getting old. I mean, he's at the end of his career. We're supposed to be helping him by this time. With what do? We got rid of his top 2 fucking wide receivers.
He should be at the OTAs. He should have been there. Then he comes back and starts pissing one about the fucking receivers running the wrong routes.
I also think a lot of that ties into what's happening right now. I truly do believe that this is a marriage of not only are we like ready to move on, but Rodgers is exhausted after we've sucked the life out of him. Is
it going to be better in New York though? I mean,
I don't, dude. If I'm being honest, I'm happy that he's going to the Jets. You know why? Because I know he's going somewhere he's not going to succeed. Dude, they're not going to have a fucking chance, bro. They're not winning shit with the Jets. So Rodgers is then going to retire without doing shit for another team, which, again, I'm not going to hate on Rodgers on the Jets. I'm just going to – I will never root for another team. I don't give a shit that Rodgers is on the Jets. I'm not rooting for them to win. I don't hope they win a Super Bowl. I don't hope that they're great. I hope that we are great and fuck everyone else.
Agreed.
Unless it benefits us in a draft pick.
If they give us next year's first round, I hope they lose every fucking game. You know what I mean? So look, I want to bring this up. Oh, here it is. Here we go. All right, David Gray, you're going to speak on this.
I already talked about that.
Explain to me.
I told you it was a clear grab, but I mean, look how
you said it was a little bit of a grab. That's a humongous fucking
bro. I
grab.
can see his shoulder pad. I can see his shoulder pad underneath there.
Let's put this onto it.
You can see his
Let's
bone.
put this context onto it, though. Wait a minute. Let's put this context onto it. Pulling his shoulder the way that he did, he propels himself into the interception.
He was
by pulling him down and launching himself. I mean, it
should have been called. Yes, I agree.
That's bad.
Shouldn't have been thrown either, though.
That's egregious. No,
right? No, you're right. It was. He was not open. There was no way he was open.
No, he wasn't.
He was not open. That you show that too.
I think
I understand. We should have got the flag. We should have got it. But that should have been called without even throwing the ball. Rodgers could have thrown it out of bounds, and that still should have been a flag.
What we're talking about just now is Rodgers has a tendency to throw the ball where a flag is. He does it all the time. Like, you ever notice he throws at someone?
The good ones do, man. The good guys do.
But that was one of those ones where he might have actually threw that the way he did because there was a clear flag on the play.
You know what I'm going to miss about Rodgers is catching 12 people on the field.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
That and getting them offside.
Hey, let's also talk about that.
Man, we let it fucking go years ago. What's wrong with talking about it still?
Let's talk about that dropped touchdown too from Devontae Adams.
I mentioned that where Devontae Adams had it right in his fucking hands and he was falling down with it. He drops it so we get a field goal out of that.
And then I think it was either Lazard or MVS dropped that 2-point conversion. That was right.
That's why I say, man.
Wasn't it EQ? Wasn't it EQ St. Brown?
It was.
Yeah. You win as a team, you lose as a team, man. That's it.
On here, that fucking stop crying. Come on, Lester, get on here.
Yeah,
Lester.
We're just
the fake Don. The fake Don.
Cocaine Barry.
No. You know what the name actually says to me? It says the Don sucked these nuts real dry right there. That's
I think it says I wish I had a real quarterback.
Really experienced the Hall of Fame quarterback leaving his team, but we're out here reminiscing. Yeah, we're fucking reminiscing.
Man. You got lots of memories to tell us about how Rodgers just walked all over your team.
I gave Aaron Rodgers. It sucks to have him leave. It sucks to be end of an era. It kind of does. But I'm excited for Jordan Love.
Dave and Dorn were very, very ready for Rodgers to go. But you guys got to admit that it is sad to watch a great era of Green Bay football.
It does.
It's sad, dude. It's sad. It's very sad.
It's like when
finality sucks. I can finally realizing that it is over, and it really is over. Yeah,
it's over, man.
Fuck yeah, I really wanted him to go. I got what I wanted.
It ain't over until he signed the fucking dotted line.
But we're moving. You're moving on. You're going to the next guy. So this is moving on. No matter what happens, it's moving on.
I think Danny Edling's our backup right now since Rodgers gone.
Oh. That was the subject we were going to get to. Yeah, who is a viable or a smart backup that Green Bay could actually use in case Jordan Love, let's say he has some struggles, or let's say, God forbid, he gets hurt. I want to start with this one.
You know who we have on the Rolodex?
I want to start with this one.
Nick don't want his thunder stolen. There's too many.
We're going with Isaac second because he decided he was going to insert himself. Matt Ryan is a free agent and no one wants to sign him. I'm just saying, as a backup for a very a vet.
I don't want that juju on my
Matt Ryan anywhere near my team.
As a backup. I'm going for it. Matt Ryan, backup, 97 years old. I'm willing to let it happen. I'm willing to watch it.
I'd be worried he'd ruin Love just by being next to him.
Hey, go see if Favre's available.
I'm about to mute the whole goddamn.
He's got money issues going right now.
Look, Matt Ryan, okay? Look, I'm just saying, as a backup, he's our Andy Dalton. Let him be our Andy Dalton as a backup.
The Red Rifle.
Cooper Rush.
You know who we have in the Rolodex?
Who's in the Rolodex?
If we throw around the Rolodex, Matt Flynn's number is right there.
Oh, jeez.
I gotta go with Kurt
Bring him back.
Bring Kurt Baker back.
Yes. Yeah, I'd be for that one.
Matt Flynn, baby.
No, I'm not even joking. The Packers are actually talking to Cooper Rush.
Oh, really? I would love that.
That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad.
Cooper Rush. He's not a starting quarterback. I know that he plays great when he does start. He's not a starting quarterback, though, but he's a great fucking backup, man.
Purdy. Can we get Brock
All right, so do we draft a quarterback?
I think the Niners still believe in Brock Purdy. I think they're still going to ride with him, man. What'd you ask, Rob?
Do we draft a quarterback?
No, don't do that.
If Hendon Hooker's there, yes.
I think that sends a bad message to Love, who's going to be starting.
Whoa!
Yeah, then you guys
we drafted Braum in the second.
First of all, wait a minute. Your next option should never be a hooker. Okay, let's get that.
Third option. We always suck at third option. He might use that as a quarterback.
Hey, what about what's his name? Heineke from
Yeah, he just signed. He just signed with somebody. He just got signed.
But that would be a bigger problem even because Heineke's looking to start. Like he's definitely looking to start.
Yeah, but I like that. You give Love a little pressure.
Yeah, he went to
Yeah, a little
Atlanta.
competition.
He went
I
to
like it.
Atlanta.
I think the names that we've circulated, the best name was Cooper Rush. I would love for Cooper Rush to be.
I'd be cool with that.
Isn't he 2-0 versus the Vikings?
He's a Viking killer. Already got a good resume.
Wasn't he like 6-1 last year or some crazy shit?
Yeah.
When he took over
Cooper Rush.
He took over for Dak for those 7-8 games, whatever it was.
Speaking of Cooper Rush and Dak, Ezekiel Elliott's being released.
Yeah, he got cut. Yeah, they let
Where
him
do
go.
you guys think Zeke goes? Because look, Green Bay is never going to even consider that.
Oh,
no. Where does Zeke go?
He's going to want some money. He was the third highest rusher for their history.
I don't know where he really goes. I mean,
I think if the Titans trade Derrick Henry, they'll take a chance on Zeke.
So you don't think he takes a pay cut and goes back to Dallas?
Like, I don't know. He's washed up, bro.
I can see the Eagles getting him. The Eagles, they have a few really decent running backs, but Miles Sanders is really their only starting running back. I could see the Eagles going for him and Zeke doing it out of spite, a Brett Favre Vikings type deal.
Yeah, Zeke
Who did the Vikings sign? Or not
Washington. Who does Washington got?
I don't know why I said Vikings.
What about this?
Bears.
What about this?
Or the Eagles.
What about this?
Eddie Lacy.
Hold on. What about this?
You looks at
What about this, guys?
Biscuits and gravy.
What about this? Saquon Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott.
I don't think they'll never put those two together. I think he's got a better chance in Washington, though. Washington.
Washington, actually, I think they're going to run with what's his name that got shot and then.
Yeah, no, I know he had a decent ending to the season, but still, I mean, just imagine Elliott with Washington. I mean, that would make their offense.
Thank you, Dale Henderson, because I didn't know this. The fact that the Eagles got Rashad Penny, they're definitely.
Oh, they're not gonna.
I think honestly he goes to the Bucks. They let this is
crazy, but someone I would really want to get back. I don't think he's signed anywhere yet. I would take Jamal Williams back in a fucking heartbeat.
He signed with the Saints.
He is so sick. Did he sign with the Saints?
Yep, for 3 years.
The Lions let him go.
Yep.
I don't think the Lions let him go. I think the Lions.
He's so great in the fucking locker room. Dude scored 20 fucking touchdowns last year.
Yes, he was clutch for them this year.
He ran 17 or 18, right? Something like that.
On top of that,
they signed Mooney. Or Montgomery.
Montgomery. Hey, hold on.
Top of that,
hold on. Yeah, Lions are around Montgomery now.
On top of that, Swift comes back to play on the Pacers alumni softball game every year.
Wow, I can't believe they let Jamal Williams. I mean, I kind of knew it was coming, but man,
Cooper's definitely better than fucking Fields.
Supposed to be.
This comment comes from a really stupid person. I know.
Man, what the hell is that? Jordan Love is Brett Hundley.
I'm talking to you.
I know who it is. First of all, Brett Hundley and Jordan Love don't play anything similar. There's nothing similar at all. They. Like, look,
I'm DMing a fucking link right now.
There was a really stupid person that made a post like that earlier.
They can't stop laughing.
They don't play anything alike whatsoever, at all.
Oh, I saw a Bear fan say, man, we got Edmonds. He's a great cornerback.
Yes, I saw that.
So let's talk about that too.
Hey Lester, I sent you a fucking DM with the link on your fucking private account. You better hop your ass on here.
Go ahead, A-Dub.
Well, I was gonna say the funniest thing I could have heard a Bear fan say, because we signed DJ Moore, now we're officially the number 3 ranked team in the NFL now. Or third ranked in the NFC.
Let's put context to that. DJ Moore couldn't even break 900 yards last year in 17 games. That's an extra game. with better passers than Justin Fields. He
had like about 4 or 5 touchdowns too, only.
Yeah, he didn't do very well. And not only that, oh my God, well, he's still young and he's going to play with Fields. Okay, well, you guys said that about Claypool who came over, and Claypool did dude, you have to have someone that actually throws the ball to have a receiver that actually catches the ball. I'm just saying, man. Like, you're talking about the guy that threw an interception with 0 guys rushing him against the Lions.
That was funny as hell.
I just, dude, it's not going to happen. And here's another great reason why it's not going to happen, because your scheme is predicated on your quarterback rushing. Your entire scheme is your running backs and your quarterback finding the holes and rushing the ball. It's never been about passing the ball. You're never going to find that balance of passing the ball with this guy. It's just dude. It's what do you call it? A straw man argument at that point.
They will definitely be looking for a quarterback next year. I will guarantee you that.
And here's my thing about the Bears. All this talk about how you've gotten these receivers together and all, but I have yet to see if your offensive line is going to be any better this year, because let's not forget, y'all gave sacks last season, despite what Fields did.
You know, nothing too. Why would you?
When you're ready.
Are we confident in Love? I got to tell you, and I'm being 100% fucking honest, I definitely have confidence in Love. 100%. I really, really – look, am I saying he's Hall of Famer? He's the next – that's not what I'm saying. I have to see it first.
I go through growing pains. But
I 100% have confidence that Love is going to take – everything that he learned, and he's going dude, he's developed. Like, he's clearly developed over these years. I definitely have faith in Love. I really think he can at least be a good quarterback that makes us competitive for years until we finally one day just go, hey man, like, it just hasn't worked. Like, let's do something else. But if he keeps developing and it turns into that thing where it's like, now everybody's mad we have another Hall of Fame quarterback. Y'all better run under a rock, because trust me when I tell you, everyone's seen, specifically me, I'm going to make your life a fucking living hell. I'm going to talk the biggest shit. I'm going to be the biggest asshole you've ever met. It's going to be me. So y'all better pray to God that Jordan Love isn't a Hall of Famer.
Put that back up. What did I say, Nick? Put that back up once. What did it say again?
Rodgers getting some love today.
I would say every person, every fan base, even the Green Bay fan base, is skeptical of Jordan Love right now. You're skeptical. You don't know what's going to happen. Green Bay fans, true fan. I don't like to get into all that true fan shit.
This is a good comment. Dude, I got to be honest. I'm one of the most ruthless, biggest assholes that anyone's met in these groups, and everyone knows that. Me and David Gray used to go, well, when David Gray had teeth, tooth for tooth. You know what I mean? Like,
motherfuckers are white though, ain't they?
Early.
David Gray's
me and Nick actually unfriended each other over Aaron Rodgers, dude, and we kind of came to an agreement. Like, you know, I mean, it's really not that big a deal, dude. Like,
well, because it was like, look, I'm trying to get you to understand. Like, it's not 100% about just loving Aaron Rodgers. It's more about, like, for me, anyways, a lot of it has to do with like the logic of why you're saying this, like the rationale. You know what I mean? And once we fuse together, like our rationales.
I kind of seen the writing on the wall, didn't I?
Yeah, of course. Like, I'm not.
I kind of did see the writing on the wall years ago.
We should have just.
You're back on my show. David Gray is the most controversial. David Gray got an entire show shut down. Him by himself, and then
over Aaron Rodgers, dude,
of turmoil. And David Gray is now back on my show.
I fucking love Simon. I respect the hell out of Simon. I love his fucking opinions on things. It was with Simon. And
yes, you and Simon.
And people were pushing my buttons, and I was a little, I'm a little buzzed right now too. But I was a little buzzed that night too, but it was over Aaron Rodgers, and I really didn't say nothing hateful. I spoke the truth about him.
They'll ban you. They'll ban you.
Yeah,
They'll ban you.
Some guys can't take it, man. Some guys can't take it.
Jake banned me
words.
because of bad about Rodgers.
No, it turned into mixed words was the problem, and
I
the
love
show
him,
got
man.
shut down.
Tommy knows I love him.
There was a week where nobody even knew if a show would exist anymore, and then I had to go, all right, you guys, you know what? I'll make a show, and we'll all get on board, and here we are.
And part of that was that little bitch Henderson putting shit in Bill's head that I was fucking teaming up with Tim Isaacson that night.
Well, you gotta appreciate what I did to
That
Henderson.
shit never happened.
Who would team up with Isaacson? Who would team up with Isaacson? He's the giant dumbass.
I liked him.
David Gray, you
But he's
have
a giant dumbass.
You have to appreciate,
why
though,
would I
Gray.
team up with a Lions fan to destroy a Packers show? Like what?
Gray, you have
kind
to
of person do you
appreciate
think
what I
am?
did
Like,
to
bro,
Henderson
it's not
after
that
that.
serious.
Henderson, dude, I destroyed him. I ruined him. He's
an
done.
idiot.
He
was
wanted
always
to come
like-
at me sideways, and he's done. Henderson is
always
done.
like you're a Packer fan. You're a Packer family. You have to agree with everything. No, motherfucker, I don't agree with everything you guys say. Why would
I
you
forgot that
hate me
Isaac
though?
was here.
Why would
Henderson
you
is
hate
Isaac's
me?
best
I have a
friend. I
different
forgot
opinion.
about that.
Don't
Like,
mess
bro, we
my
gotta be
best
brothers
friend.
because we're Packer
So
fans.
just for
No, the fuck
context.
we don't. We can be friends because we're Packer
Just for
fans.
context, do you guys want the story? Do you want the Henderson story? I'm willing to tell it on my own show. Do you want the Henderson story?
I've only heard the
Hey,
Henderson
I told y'all
rant. So
motherfuckers-
yeah, I would love to hear the
So I have
story.
no
Oh.
idea about any of this. So yeah.
So let me tell you before I tell the story. Isaac, A-Dub, and John Dorn were all there for this whole thing. We started talking about basketball, and David Henderson started going, well, Michael Jordan is the best because he played with Hall of Famers like Reggie Miller. Who was the other one? It was the Knicks
Patrick
center.
Ewing.
Patrick Ewing, and we went, is that really the talent pool that you're throwing out?
Hey,
So-
Dave Henderson is like a Rob Haspel. He always thinks he's got to be the smartest guy in the fucking room, dude. It's like you're not. Like
So-
I'm
so
not, I
let
don't
me-
ever claim to be the smartest. I have a lot of opinions that I think I'm right about.
Well,
but
look.
I get shit wrong all the time. Like, dude,
Yeah, it was.
I have very controversial opinions to what he was trying to say. Again, it's not that LeBron is greater than Michael because I think Michael's greater than LeBron. It's the rationale, it's the logic that you're giving. Your logic sucks, man. You're giving bad takes. That was the whole
you
point.
said Reggie
So
Miller.
he starts getting mad, right? And I'm shitting on him completely about his horrible logic, right? And he starts saying, like, well, you know what, Nick, if you don't like it, and I was like, what are you going to do? He's like, you don't have to be here. And I was like, I'm going to sit right here. And you know what? You're obsessed with, I'm not going to throw out names. You're obsessed with this one girl that you keep antagonizing this girl that's in here, and you keep getting all up on her.
You want to know another thing, dude? Is he felt threatened because you were getting cool with Bill, and Bill was hosting all these shows, and he was Bill's right hand man, and you know.
And then I started hosting the shows.
Yeah.
And Bill is we're co-hosting, and David
Yeah.
Henderson feels like, how did you sneak up in here without me?
Yeah,
Like
dude. And he really, I mean, what did he really offer, dude? He
he
didn't really
he
offer
took
any opinion.
babysitted the groups,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
we all
I
do.
was in groups with you. I made posts.
Yeah, I heard
Oh,
the rant. I heard the rant. I
Have you
heard the
seen his
rant.
post, bro? Have you seen his post? He posts some of the dumbest shit I've ever fucking seen, dude.
I'm really sad today because my car didn't start, and then there was a girl that I love that said no. Like,
He literally complains about other
How
fan bases.
the hell are you
talking
gonna
about
love
us.
somebody and they say,
Come on,
Oh,
man.
see,
What are
see,
they
that's
supposed to do?
see,
What are they
that's one of
supposed
the
to do? They're
things.
supposed to talk shit about our
That's
team.
one of the things that I feel like. I feel a big reason why me and Gray eventually just figured it out is because it's resiliency. Like, we weren't going to back down, but we were also like, look, man, like, fuck it. I got my opinion. You got your opinion. Fuck everyone else. Let's do this. Like I don't give a shit anymore, right? But Henderson will sit there and he'll be like, why are you doing this to me? Like, and then
He went
Isaac,
into bitch mode. He went into bitch mode.
not me, Isaac posts a picture of David Henderson, and it just says derp on his forehead. Derp. And he goes, would you like it if someone posted pictures of your family and your wife and your kids? And it was like, you don't have a wife, you don't have kids, you don't even have a girlfriend. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And everyone's like,
is so perfect.
Everyone's like, what are you talking about, bro? You have no. Well, okay. But if he did do that, he's like, but he didn't do that. All that happened.
And the funny part was with the back chat, for the Packers back chat, he kicked all you guys out, and he inboxes me and says, "Hey, don't let these guys in." I'm like, "What the fuck?" I just went with you guys. Like, fuck this.
I was in there. He kicked me out. I was just laughing at the shit that was going on. He just kicked me out, man. Just booted me.
The best part is he's talking about this to Bill, and he's doing all this crazy shit, and all of a sudden he just randomly stops and he goes, "And Simon, he's a little bitch." Just for no reason.
He did. That's in the rant.
For no reason at all. Simon did nothing wrong. Simon didn't do anything, and he just goes, "Simon, he's
harmless, man. Simon's a good shit."
The funny thing is, Bill tells me all the time, or Bill told me all the time that Dave used to steal people's pictures and Photoshop them on funny pictures.
Yeah,
Nick, remember when that shit all happened with me and Simon and we got in an argument? Do you remember being on that phone call after that when he was fucking just laying into me, dude, like threatening me over a fucking Facebook show, bro?
Really?
Like really, dude?
Henderson,
I was up in the UP one day, and I told that motherfucker, I'm up in the UP, bro. I mean, where you live?
Henderson,
we can stop and have a beer and talk about it.
Bro, Henderson had a very false narrative about who he was and what his role was. Bro, you were never the guy. You were always just the little lapdog that kind of helped us, like, in these small increments. And, man, let's be honest, like on the shows, it was like I loved like the Big Bob Tanya. I loved all that shit. But when we talked football, all of a sudden you notice Henderson was like, well, let me put up a meme real quick. And I'm like, but don't you have any football takes real quick? Like nothing. And Isaac still hangs out with them. I don't know why.
Get lunch tomorrow.
One of my favorite clips is of John Dorn. I swear it was like at the very end before we all got kicked out and all that shit. John Dorn, one of his clips was like, "God, dude, you're crying like a little bitch. Like, stop." He's like, "Well, listen, John Dorn, I want a cat for football, okay?" And he's like, "But you're bitching about nothing." Like,
exactly.
I was in a bunch of chats with him, and dude, what really bothered me was when he would be like, "Bill, check your inbox. Bill, check your inbox. Bill, check your inbox."
Yeah, I seen that all the time.
Dude, like, what
oh my god,
fuck, dude.
Yeah,
you know what?
The creepy thing happened with that girl, though, man. That was the creepiest shit I've ever heard.
And he was way out of his league. Like, bro, she's 20 years younger than you. Why are you getting obsessed over
man,
that?
He took it bad, man. He took it really bad.
I love 20 girls 20 years younger than me. Like, yeah, man. I mean, like, I'm not gonna obsess over him, bro. I'm gonna look at him and like, yeah, whistling.
He was posting Justin Bieber's songs after that. Like,
Nick was chasing around in the back chat though. It was hilarious.
I mean, come on, man.
Oh Chelsea.
Yeah. You guys want
Packer fan? And that person, that girl, I don't want to mention her name. She like didn't post, like she would go live. You know those Facebook and when you can chat with everybody and do a video chat. Is she didn't put her picture up, and that UK Packer fan was like, "Hey, you sound pretty sweet. Let me see a picture." And then Dave out of nowhere goes, "Oh, you would love her. If you would come to America for her." I was like, "Oh my god, this is the most
Isaac,
shit.
Can you
That's
bump
simping at its finest, bro? Like, come on, man.
Can you bump the Chelsea? The video I made. Can you bump that
was hilarious, bro.
One thing that I'll never do, I'll never ever back down from what I feel is right. And in that chat, when it started getting real weird, and everyone that wasn't a creepo was kind of like, "What the fuck?" All of a sudden, I just went, "You know what, you guys." First of all, you're fucking weird, okay? What you're talking, and then I started doing those videos where I was like, this is how desperate you are. Motherfucker, and I just got sick of it, bro. I just got sick of it eventually. I was like, dude, you want a football chat, but you guys are here trying to
not supposed to be chasing people, man. We're here to talk football.
That dude's number one fan is fucking Shadid, man. Come on, dude.
Don't talk about
riding with guys like fucking Shadid.
Please don't talk about Shadid. I don't want the FBI at my house.
Come on.
When I see that video on TikTok of him, oh my God.
Dude,
is that really him? Is that really him in that Dollar General? That's him. I knew it.
I heard that's really him at the convenience store. He's like,
at the Dollar General, bro.
Walk away or I'm going to call the cops. He's like, call the cops.
I was like, I go, no way is that Shadid. I saw the pack. I mean, I was like, no, that's him. That is totally him.
These fucking Facebook groups, though, like, damn,
so,
bro.
So look, guys. There's one person that's really in the shadow of all this. I want his opinions. A-Dub, I want your opinions on all this. This is a lot. It's a heavy.
A-Dub posts a lot of stuff in the bag. He posts a lot of stuff, man. Me and him have talks all the time. He posts a lot of stuff.
He was there. He was there when it happened.
Really?
Yeah.
I got kicked out.
We all got kicked out. He kicked everybody out after all that. But Nick was chasing him. I mean, they was getting at it.
That show where David and Simon had an argument. I had conversated with David. Like, I understood exactly where he was coming from. I know how much you're Aaron Rodgers critic, so I could easily hear your opinion out and respect it. So I was just more of a neutral party. Like, I wasn't trying to take sides. And here. Yeah.
That was week. That was like, week 2 against the Lions. That was week 2 against the Lions. And I told them guys, I was like, you guys aren't going to get mad and boot me off the show if I'm critical of Aaron Rodgers.
That should have told him right there. That should have been their warning.
Specifically said that to him. And I was like, you guys may not like my opinion, but it is my opinion.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having your own opinion. I mean, dude, this is why we all support this team. We all got it.
Tim Isaacson came up, dude. He felt. I think Dave felt threatened because I did have a honest opinion, and he didn't like my honest opinion, and it was so easy to brush me off and say "fuck you," and you know. And I'll admit, I got a little heated. I got a little heated with Isaac. Simon.
Yeah, it's all me.
Isaac, you shit starter.
Common denominator.
My perspective, Dave, you definitely went way overboard, and Simon didn't deserve to be attacked like that. But at the same time, you both started attacking each other. That's why the whole thing transpired the way that it did. And then you decided that look, I get it. You were playing. You were fucking with us after that. You started fucking with us. Now, me and you were
probably under the. Were you under the influence?
I was like, what the fuck? Dude?
One thing that happened was every time we got thrown in these back chats and we were forced to fight all the time.
Away the next fucking day. I'll admit it, I did it.
But we got forced to fight each other.
Dave.
We got forced to fight each other all the time. And in these back chats where everyone's fighting and talking shit and saying shit, I remember me and Dave just kept going like, hey, man, we're cool. like we're so cool. Like,
because he carries a grudge. Like, nah.
Mm-hmm. That whole crew. I mean, I got into it with Jake over. You know, we disagree with some stuff that, you know.
He booted me and blocked me because I talked bad about Rodgers.
Yeah, no, you got to be able to take the good with the bad too, man. I mean,
shit. John Dorn and I have argued, well, not argued, but disagreed with points on each other. How the hell are you going to bitch about that? You're your own man. What the fuck?
Well, there's being disagreeing, and then there's being disrespectful, and some fans do go across that line.
Here for any of that shit. Roger, hope Roger gets hurt and becomes back. I mean, I was just talking out my ass. I was just fucking around.
Yeah, but but you're not the only one who said that though. There's a lot of people out there that are hateful like that.
You know me by now.
I know you don't mean that, John. And I know it's just a heated discussion we was having the other day. And
let's go back to Green Bay. What are we talking about? Let's get back to Jordan.
We're talking about how the Upper
Let's
Peninsula
get back to Jordan Love.
holds on to vaginas.
Rob, let's get back to Jordan Love. What do you feel about Jordan Love, Rob?
Well, look, man, there's a lot of questions. I'm not going to look. The best I've seen him is play the quarter or the half that he played against Philly. He looked good. I mean, it was a solid play. And if we could get that out of him to start, then maybe it could lead. You can only get better playing. You can't get no better sitting down watching, but you can learn some things. And hopefully he's picked up learning the mechanics, learning how to read defenses, learning the stuff. And, hopefully A-Rod, he didn't seem like the type of guy that wasn't going to pull a Favre and not help him out. You know what I'm saying?
He seemed to mentor him very well.
It really does feel like Rodgers kind of was like, "Hey, Love, we're in this together, man. We're really going to do it." It really does feel like that, does it not, Gray?
No, it does. No, it does.
Favre full blown was like, "Fuck Rodgers, fuck him from day one." And Rodgers from day one,
not my job to teach him.
Rodgers, when he got drafted, they asked him how he felt about it. He said the second he got drafted, he reached out to him and he was like, "Hey, man." I'm just saying.
I just think Brett Favre don't know how to teach nobody. He's just a good old boy from Mississippi, man, who just goes out there and slings the ball, man, and he does it very well.
Know what a fucking nickel defense
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. I don't think he could have taught Rodgers anything.
10 years or some shit.
I think Favre was intimidated by Rodgers' intelligence because Rodgers could really dissect a defense. I really believe that.
But the thing that we're looking at right now, as Packers fans right now that benefits us is I truly do believe that Rodgers taught Love certain things. I think I think Love has developed with it.
One thing, do you think it benefits Aaron Rodgers that Brett Favre threw so many fucking picks in his career that he sat there and watched him throw all them fucking picks? That he really thought about it, I can't throw all these fucking picks.
Yeah, I would have. I mean, that's the one thing that haunts Brett Favre. What's his one thing? What's the one thing? He was the king of interceptions. He holds the record of it, bro.
I don't think that Rodgers watched Favre and went, "I'm not going to throw interceptions because of that." I don't think that that's necessarily what happened. I think that Aaron Rodgers already was extremely calculated. In methodical. I think he already was that way. So I think he already, without Favre watching him, would have been the way that he is today. But I will say that, watching the slander and the amount of shit you get for throwing interceptions, I think that put in his mind over those years, he's thinking don't throw an interception.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things you can ever do.
Did he have a career high in interceptions in his first year, though?
Maybe it was 12. His first year was 12, yeah.
That was the most in his career, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he threw 10 the next year, and then he threw 6 the year, 45 touchdowns. No. Yeah, 45 touchdowns and 6 interceptions the year after that.
Yeah, he's got 475 touchdowns right now. And Favre has 505 or 504 touchdowns.
I don't think Rodgers will play long enough to break the TD. Well, at least the Favre TD.
And then I think Favre's got 74,000 yards, and I think Rodgers has 59, I believe.
Rodgers has never been a
yard guy,
a passing yards quarterback. To be honest, he's always been an efficient TD guy.
Yep.
He never has high amount of yardage. I think the most yards he's ever had before was 4,600 in a season.
Yep.
Something like that.
Somewhere in the high fours.
What is strange though is like Rodgers last year, no games were 300. That's kind of weird. But it was more like a managed game. You ran more and everything else, and those short pass, stuff like that.
Yeah, we changed up our scheme to go with what we could do.
More passive though. He would throw the ball away and. Whereas Favre would gamble and try and fit it in.
My biggest complaint.
You can respect either theory.
Yeah, it's a plus and it's a minus. It has its benefits and it has its non-benefits, right? So I think, look, I never thought that I'd ever watch someone break the 45 touchdown, 6 interception season ever. I just thought that was so astronomical that'll never happen again. And then 3 years ago, Rodgers goes 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, and I went, Jesus Christ, dude! Like, what can't the things that Rodgers does? You can't replicate, man. I mean, look, in my opinion, if someone asked me today, who is the best quarterback you've ever watched in your life, I would say Patrick Mahomes. Probably it's probably Patrick Mahomes. Like I don't know if I've ever watched a dude make it that fucking easy and throw the ball that way. I just haven't. Come on, man.
See, to me, Prime Rodgers was very equal with Patrick Mahomes.
To me, Rodgers, the best, most pure quarterback I've ever seen, talent-wise, would be second. It would be Rodgers. But Patrick Mahomes, I'm sorry, man. This guy, he's going to be the GOAT. He is. Like, I would love for someone to challenge me on that, because there's no way you can't sit there and say that this dude doesn't do shit that no one else has done. Like, he just does.
Two Super Bowls in his first 5 seasons, 6 seasons, whatever it is.
Go back and watch Rodgers games. Go back to Rodgers games, man.
Yep. Rodgers was doing that shit for a long time before
Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, when it's all said and done, Patrick Mahomes he'll be better.
What think about Rodgers? He's just one of the smartest quarterbacks. I mean, catching people offside. He's just so talented of football.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
he changed the way defenses play because of how he is on offense. Rodgers, the quick snap. I mean, all of that. He's got guys like freaking out, running to the sidelines. Is this a good time? Is this a good time?
You mean like the Dolphins game where the head coach he starts laughing. He's like, I had to call the timeout because Rodgers got us. He got us.
He changed. I mean, he literally changed the way defenses play against him.
Yeah, he's a really smart quarterback. Now, hopefully, Love can do that kind of stuff. Learn that off of Rodgers. You know what I mean?
I think Love. Well, I don't think Love is that kind of guy. And not only that,
I think he's. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I don't think Love's gonna take the play clock down to the 0.0001 second.
I'm sweating every time he fucking comes up. Come on, say the ball.
I think Love might be more traditional. Aaron Rodgers is an anomaly, whereas I think Love might actually be a very traditional, great quarterback. You know what I mean?
He's just got to find what he's good at, because I mean, Favre is different than Rodgers. Rodgers is accurate. Rodgers is technical. Favre was heart. Favre was spirit. Favre was like, you know.
I'm gonna get to Ken, and then I'll let A-Dub go after Ken. I think what Love has found, what he's good at, is definitely his pocket presence, man. He just has it, bro. He sits in that pocket. He moves his footwork, in my opinion, it's really great. Like, look, Justin Fields, the moment he ever thinks in his mind, like, it's been too long, I've held the ball too long, he puts his head down and
he's running.
So Jordan Love never does that. Remember in preseason when he was having all those fumbles, his arm got hit. He fucking got hit when he threw the remember he got a little bit injured, like his arm hurt after he got hit.
That was his first year,
But do you know why? It's because he's sitting in the fucking pocket making the passes. He's not deviating from the plan. And one thing that he did great at Utah State was he would have those off the back foot throws. He's great at launching off the back foot throws. He's great at it. The other thing is, when he knows he doesn't have the guy to do that, he moves right up in the pocket and he keeps progressing with his reads.
Yeah,
he's great at his reads. Those are the things that I love about Jordan Love, because there's a lot of quarterbacks that you find and they kind of get the ball and they kind of go, "Who's open?" You know what I mean? Jordan Love doesn't do that. He goes 1, 2, 3. He moves around.
People give him a lot of shit.
I'm a firm believer of experience. He's just got to get out there, man. We got to get him time. You got to get him time. You got to get him time.
A lot of them gave him shit when he was in college last year. They thought he threw a lot of interceptions and all this. But he has all new coaches, all new players on the offense.
I trust me when I tell you, because I watch these guys. 15 new starters his junior year. 15 new starters, new offensive coordinator, new head coach. Everything was out the fucking door. And they didn't have a great roster. The year before, they actually had a ranked team in the nation. They were actually really good. he fucking killed it, man. He was amazing. So, I'm not a big believer in talking about college when it comes to NFL because to me it's irrelevant.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Totally different
When
game.
people bring it up though, like, well, his last year in college, bro,
Yeah.
you don't even know the context of what this kid went through. Okay, he carried that team. So look, we're gonna go with Ken. We're gonna go with A-Dub. We're gonna go with Rob. Of course, we're gonna go with Rob, right? And then we're gonna go with because here's what I want to do. When Rob finishes, I want you, John Dorn. I want you to rebuttal off of what Rob finishes because you two need to make up. You two need to make up.
I'm not mad at John Dorn. I'm not mad at John Dorn. No, by no means.
John Dorn been fighting all fucking week. Okay. What's
I just
up,
don't like
Greg?
hate. I just don't like hate, man. I don't like hate.
I want to
You
say
don't hate.
welcome.
No. He knows
I
I'm
want to
fucking
say
with him.
welcome to one of
Yeah,
my
I don't
best
hate you, John.
friends.
Believe me.
Hey,
I
Greg,
just throw my own
by the way,
people.
Greg,
I throw my own
by the way,
guys
Greg,
in.
when I challenge
It's
you in
fun.
these back chats,
Yeah.
it's all love, bro. I just
Bro,
want you to know
always,
that.
Nick. Look, man. So I got a little opening up to do. So look, man. Straight up to you guys. So I'm in the back battling with cheeseheads because that's just what I do, right? I'm a Lions fan. Can't talk about our past. So look, I have shit on Aaron Rodgers for a long time. Always keeping off my top 10 list all time. I'll sneak him into the top 10.
Oh,
Now,
God.
granted, if he wins one with the Jets, I'll put him in the top 5. But Aaron Rodgers, you guys, what a legacy. I know it's got to be kind of a little precarious right now, but he's done some magical things, man. Shame he could only get it done once with you guys, but nothing to look back on.
I just want to point out that I've said some really extremely controversial things to Greg as of recently. I just want you to know, Greg, I hope you don't ever take it as like
Bro, we're in these back chats just getting it, bro. That's what they're there for.
because you know how I operate. I always
know.
attack what you say. I always give logic to it, and I attack.
I know.
So
I'm all for logical debates, you guys.
It's just
Nick,
the way that I
we're
am.
good, brother.
So okay, we're gonna go Ken, we're gonna go A-Dub, and we're gonna go Rob. Calm down, Rob. And then we're gonna go John Dorn is gonna attack, and then Greg, we're gonna get your full entire everything that you want to talk about at this point. After that, and David Gray is the perfect person to rebuttal you off of everything you say. I'm not joking. You guys will really you'll mesh well. So go ahead, Ken.
Yeah.
See, the only thing that I don't know if I like about Love's mechanics is, from what I've seen in just a small sampling, is that he doesn't do that almost like jump pass that Favre and then Rodgers did. And I'm kind of worried that with him having his feet so grounded that he's going to end up taking more punishment that way.
Okay.
Have you guys seen?
Do you ever actually follow what Love does? I mean, the off season. Do you ever follow that?
Not the off season, just during the season.
Well, right now Jordan Love is working out with his trainer, and LaFleur sent him with a thing saying, "Hey, this is like you got to work on this, you got to work on this, and you got to work on this." They already knew when the off season came that he's pretty much going to be the starter.
Yeah,
pretty much. And right now he's going to be working. I think the next couple of weeks here, he's been working with some pro fucking like a receiver from the Chargers and some couple other guys.
Keenan Allen, you mean?
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's working on all those footwork, all this, and I have fully confidence in Jordan Love right now. I mean, he's throwing the ball really good right now. His accuracy is pretty damn good. I mean, just a flick of his wrist, and it's like a rocket. You know, it's right there. I mean, we're gonna go through some downs with him. We will. I mean, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
We're not going to Super Bowl first fucking year. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, but he's got to show out this year because he's coming up on his next contract, so he's got incentive to play really well this year. So,
but you got to realize we got a pretty damn good defense, bro. Gary coming back, Stokes coming back, we got a damn good defense. We got a good running game between AJ and him. Our offensive line's pretty darn good. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons around him to keep us in games. So it's up to us to get that extra. Come on, let's get some touchdowns. long as our defense plays good and keep the fucking lower, score down, we'll be fine, dude. We'll be fine.
Okay, yeah, I'm just worried about the injury factor of it. Not really his mechanics per se. It's just going from Favre to Rodgers, the guys that didn't get hurt too often.
It's scary. I mean, you go to a new quarterback, you don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? But at least with Love, he's been in the system for 3 years. He knows that both inside and out. He knows it probably just goes to the floor right now. You know what I mean? He's studying hard. So,
well, I'm excited about it. I mean, look, I just got to see some play.
When has Love been hurt?
Exactly.
No. I'm not saying that he's been hurt. I'm just worried that
but I think they compared him to Rodgers, and I think they're teaching him that footwork.
Okay. Yeah, I just haven't personally seen him do that little hop there or take the weight off of his feet when he throws.
I thought on one of those Monday night games or one of those, Collinsworth was talking about it. They were comparing them side to side, talking about how they jump in the air when they throw the ball, so they get their feet off the ground, so they don't, if they take a hit at the legs, and that's something that Rodgers did. And I think Rodgers did it because I think he had knees of like a 50-year-old.
He said he learned it from watching Favre.
So he looked pretty good against Philly this year. I mean, it was kind of garbage time.
Kind of good. That was great for any quarterback in one quarter, man.
It was still Philly's number one defense, bro. I mean,
even last year, the last game against the Lions, he actually did play pretty good until he threw that interception. He did play pretty good.
A-Dub's going to go next. We're going to get to John Dorn, and then I want Greg. I want you to give us your full spectrum of everything because I know that Dave's going to want to counter you.
Well, I pretty much talked for the whole time already. So.
Yeah, we went out of order, Nick. You weren't here.
Dorn. First time being on live with Greg. I love Greg. Me and Greg talk all the time.
Oh, yeah, he's good shit.
Oh, me and Greg talk a lot, too, and it's mostly about you. Negative. Go ahead, A-Dub.
Well, as far as my take on Love, my story has been with most people in my fan base. I simply said it helped best to keep your expectations on Love tempered as far as he still remains a mystery element to many, especially when he's still on the learning curve of a QB. He still has more to develop and more to his game that he has to upgrade a bit. That's how I've been with Jordan Love. I'm just keeping my expectations on him tempered. Don't expect too much out of him, especially when he's just coming into his first full season as a starter. You never know what you can get out of him, whether it's good or bad.
He is so ready right now. The only thing that's gotta be in games. That's the only way he's gonna learn. I mean, he's ready for everything. He's trained so much that he's ready except for the games. He's ready. He's ready. Yeah. Now he's got to be in games and he's got to learn from there.
Yeah, and like you said, he's been a part of the system long enough to know everything in and out. He has to be very familiar with the players on the team. How will his chemistry look with the players we got now? He hasn't played with many of those guys long enough to where it's there. So that's going to have to develop.
Well, you remember when he played against the Chiefs? They blitzed the fuck out of him. I mean, they blitzed the shit out of him.
Yeah. And you could be sure those same kind of defenses will do during his first year as a starter. You could be sure the same thing's going to happen. Plenty of other defenses are not going to hesitate to blitz him almost every play, just to make sure. Just to see how good he really is out there.
I wish that was on the floor, not adjusting them. Part of that was on the floor, not adjusting.
So, Ken, I want you to say whatever you got to say before Greg Rice rips this whole thing apart. Say whatever it is you got to say, and we're handing it over to a Lions fan. He's going to say
Rice ain't ripping shit.
I wish Rodgers knew how to play a real man's game, though. You know what I mean? A real game. Yeah.
Some would say golf is a real man's game, Nick.
No, golf's not a real man's game. It's the hardest game on the planet. I'll tell you that. It's by far the most difficult game ever.
You ever play hockey?
Hey.
Man, go ahead, Ken. Hockey, you fucking Canucks out there. Get out of here.
Funny thing about golf, you could play it at any kind of age too.
That's not true. I'm 32 and
Hey, I'm damn good at mini golf. I'm awesome in mini golf.
Go ahead, Ken. Go ahead, Ken. Ken, it's your floor. If someone talks, I'll bash him.
Well, that'll be entertaining.
Shave that fucking beard. Shave it.
No, I had already went on Love's footwork that I was worried about, and it was informed
You
on
got a
it.
foot fetish for love. That's what he's talking about.
Absolutely. Come on. Have you seen those feet?
I think we're gonna be. I think he's ready.
Yeah.
Guys pay for that, so I don't know. Have you seen his feet? I haven't. So that's your last snippet. That's the last part you wanted to give, because I'm about to give Greg guys full reign.
Cut it off.
Greg's about to have full reign of the Frozen Tundra Network. So I just want you to say what you have to say at this point.
Greg loves Jordan Love. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Okay. Well, hey, it's Greg's time. Greg, the floor is yours. I'm even going to hold on. Give me 1 second and go ahead, Greg. Everything. I want you to go through everything.
Well, let's start with Jordan Love. Look, I see a lot of hesitation with Packers fans, and it's for obvious reasons. Look, you're kind of heading into an unknown of what's going to happen in the future. I will say this: of every single quarterback in the NFC North, Jordan Love is already the most experienced in this system. While he's working on his mechanics and all this stuff this offseason, I think you guys got to be incredibly confident with what he's doing. As far as LaFleur coming from that Shanahan system, you guys can lean a little bit more on the running game. And you guys have got to be top 3 right there with the Niners in terms of best running back duo in the league. So there's a good start right there. I like the chemistry that Love had with Watson, as well as I do believe Dobbs was still in the game during the Eagles game. It seemed to just click and quick like. Kudos to him for that. I look at it like this, you guys, and I've spoken to a lot of you guys about this. Look, the only team that I can remember ever watching football to hit on 3 straight franchise quarterbacks was the Chargers, and that was Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and Justin Herbert, and they've accomplished nothing with that. I think it really.
But can you call Brees a franchise quarterback for the Chargers, because they immediately got rid of?
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, he flashed, but I mean, obviously, the Chargers saw his injury history and they thought they had something better with Rivers. So there's a complete asterisk to that, Nick.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I love that you said that, because I think it's a great talking point. I actually think that the Chargers still did hit with Rivers. The problem was the Chargers, let's be honest, they didn't give him anything, man. That dude carried that franchise.
Oh, yeah. He did for a long time. He had a really great team. I forget when, the mid 2000s, a little bit later. They went 14-2.
Game and they lost to the Patriots.
That was a great squad.
But Drew Brees also didn't make the playoffs for a long time,
True.
And then they finally conjured up a great coach with a great roster. So I still think that the Chargers still hit by getting rid of him and getting Phillip Rivers. I still think it
absolutely.
I think it's arguable, at least, and debatable.
Well, I mean, I personally, I think they did. But I mean, back to your Packers, Nick. Look, man, you guys got a good young nucleus, and I'm just gonna put this out here because you got all these people on social media, Lions fans, Bears fans, Vikings fans, acting like the division is theirs now because Rodgers left. Look, Rodgers. I mean, I think we can all agree Rodgers had a pretty down year last year, and you guys were in it for the wild card spot.
Worst year ever. His worst year ever.
Yeah, you guys were in it for the wild card spot up to the last game, and
the 6-9-1 was pretty bad.
True. I mean, but the way I look at it, you guys, is the overall state of this conference, or this division to be more specific. I really feel like it's up in the air. Look, if Jordan Love, in my opinion, and I believe he has the talent and skill set to become a good mobile game manager and at least match the stats that Rodgers put up last year, you guys are very much in the mix. Until my Lions actually go out there and prove something, I don't care what Vegas says, until they could actually put the pen to the checkbook and cash in on a division title, I'm not believing it. The Bears, look, their offseason was incredible. Everything they've done right now on paper looks great, but it is all on paper. The Vikings, they made a couple moves these last 24, 48 hours that I like, but I mean, in all reality, those are lateral moves, in my opinion, at least. So
if the Jets didn't sign Lazard and the Raiders didn't sign Garoppolo, I'd say the Vikings made the worst signing in all of football for that tight end who almost didn't even make the roster last year.
Yeah. That was a very suspect move, Nick. I agree with you, man.
About it, dude. Like, we've got the second
best
rated blocking tight end.
Greg.
Stupid.
That's the worst.
Greg.
And you want to get rid of Cook.
I like Madison, but let's be real here. They're overpaying. But what's up, A-Dub? Sorry.
So we'll real quick, A-Dub, real quick. Hold on, A-Dub, real quick. I just want to rebuttal on just one thing that you said, Greg. I loved everything that you said. I just want to rebuttal on one thing. I don't think that I truly, this is just in my core, I truly don't believe that Jordan Love is a game manager. I don't think that that's the quarterback he is. Yeah. I think that with LaFleur in the scheme that we actually finally get to watch LaFleur's scheme. It's going to be a Kyle Shanahan scheme.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's extremely play action and run, but I do not believe that Jordan Love is a game manager. I believe that Jordan Love is going to fling that fucking ball. He's got the arm. Let's put it this way. Jordan Love is not Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not going to just do whatever
much higher ceiling
tells him to do. You know what I mean?
Jordan Love has a much higher ceiling. I agree.
Because Matt LaFleur, unlike Shanahan has a few things that he does. Matt LaFleur gives his quarterback 3 things every single play, 3 different parts of the play. Now, you go up to the line of scrimmage, you see what you see, you do what you got to do with the 3 parts of this play. Aaron Rodgers he didn't want to do that. He wanted to do what Aaron Rodgers did, and he wanted to change everything. Deservedly so. Aaron Rodgers deserves to do that at this point. Okay, so at a point,
well, it makes more sense. He's in the heat of the moment. He's right there. You know what I mean? He's running the play.
Jordan Love is going to 100% have to do what Matt LaFleur's scheme is. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I really don't think it's going to be game manager. I really think that LaFleur is going to open up this playbook. Yeah. We're going to play action like crazy because we have 2 great running backs, and he's going to fling that fucker, dude.
Yeah, when you get the opportunity, man, when you get a stuffed box like that, and you got a deep range wide receiver like Watson, like you got to go for it, man. I really think this does open up the playbook and give LaFleur a little bit more control as well. Hey, you guys, my phone's on 1% just in case it dies, but I'm still down to chat until it dies. But no, Nick, I completely. I agree with you. As far as Rodgers, you guys look, man, we watched a great legacy. Nick, I always give you crap in the back. I will say I take the extreme view and put too much of the blame on Rodgers for the Packers' failure. But I think there's also, and I mean no offense to anybody, I think there's a lot of Rodgers fanboys who excuse some of his poor play. I think you can look back at
I don't think I've ever said the opposite of that, though. Because I don't appreciate the fanboys that exonerate everything. That's not what I'm doing here.
No, yeah, I agree.
You saw my post today, right? Where the second it happens, I'm sitting there going, "Look, I know Jordan Love, bro. I love Green Bay. So if Rodgers is gone, then let's do it. You know what I mean?"
Agreed. And kudos to your fan base. I went through a similar situation a couple of years ago where we had some Detroit Rams fans, and I think Rodgers has more than proved his legacy. Hopefully we ain't seeing any New York Packers fans. I think you guys have a little bit more respectability in terms of what your team has accomplished in ours. So I think you guys got good pieces though, man. And I can't state it enough. This division is really up in the air, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's an open game for everybody.
Wow.
Except the Vikings. I'm sorry.
Except the Vikings. I was going to say
they'll take a step back.
I still think the Bears acting like Tremaine Edmonds is better somehow than Roquan. Dude, I'm sorry, but the Bears fans are the most delusional. Like, how is he better? In what way? Please explain to me in any sort of way he's better.
Nick, you know what it is? It's just free agency frenzy, man. You look at it, and then you look at the signings, and then it's immediate plug and play. You get that production they put on with their last. It never works like that, man. Usually with all these moving pieces Chicago has, I'm going to say it's going to take at least till like at earliest week 6 before things start clicking with them. But I got to say, DJ Moore was a hell of a pickup, man. That takes it from in my opinion, one of the worst wide receiver rooms to one of the better wide receiver rooms. It's up to Fields to make good on his improvements.
Where though? In the
Yeah, I don't see. I mean,
division, yeah, you got a point. In the division, yes. In the NFL, no.
Yeah.
DJ Moore is great though.
Yeah.
I fucking love
Yeah,
him.
he's great. I wish we could have got him last year.
I wanted him. There's
Problem
no way
is-
we could have got
the
him
problem-
last year. I wanted him.
The problem is he wasn't great last year, and he played
It
all
wasn't bad.
17 games. He had better
Bro, he makes a
passers
pass. I mean,
than
I
Fields.
think he wasn't
almost
used
1,000
properly.
yard. He had 3 straight 1,000-yard, 1,100-yard seasons, and then he kind of had what
So,
he had.
so Rob
Baker-
just
he had
said that he
Baker
wasn't
Mayfield,
used properly.
He had Sam Darnold. He had who else did he have? PJ, whatever the fuck.
He had like 3 different
PJ.
quarterbacks.
He's
Yeah.
just like
Cam
Watson.
Newton,
We all
DJ
see what
Walker,
Watson
Baker
can do.
Mayfield.
I
It's
mean,
been bad.
So Rob
And
just said he
they
wasn't
traded
used correctly.
Christian-
Wait a
and
minute.
They traded Christian McCaffrey.
Do you trust the
Yeah,
Bears to
yeah,
use him
too.
correctly? Because they're using nobody correctly on that offense, okay?
Okay,
You
but I
know,
don't
Nick,
get.
I-
But I don't
I
get.
think-
Why did he
Go ahead.
fucking go for that?
Getting
fucking
rid of
draft pick?
Montgomery was one of the worst things they could have done, too, because that was one of their shielding points.
Why
Like,
did he jump on
fuck.
that trade right away? Why couldn't he just wait longer and get
Well,
more?
You know what? I was gonna question.
They got a
Greg about
lot.
that.
He could have got better if he waited.
Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I was gonna. Hang on. Yeah, I was wanting to ask Greg about that. Like, how do you see Montgomery fitting into your offense as far as another running back for you?
Good question.
I think
Yes,
Good
Greg, are
question.
you going to miss Jamal Williams?
Dude, you definitely are going to miss Jamal Williams.
you're gonna
but-
miss Jam, bro.
but-
You're gonna miss Jam.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm sorry, Greg. I'm going to give you the 4 in just a second. Just give me this one piece. You're going to have a 3-down back that you can trust to be like your actual starting running back. Other than like Swift is like, dude, you're about to move on from Swift. Let's be honest.
Swift's injury prone.
Yes, sir.
So you get a guy that you can trust and you can move on with in the future part of this. Jamal Williams, losing him, that's a huge loss
For
because
sure.
by far the best.
Oh,
He was your offense last year. He carried
by
your run game.
far the best backup running back in the league by a long shot. I don't care.
Yeah,
Look,
Good goal line back. He was good goal line back.
How many
AJ
touchdowns
Dillon,
did he have last year?
AJ Dillon is the second best backup running back in the league, but Jamal Williams, in my opinion, is by far the best backup running back you could have.
It's just not on the
Easily,
field.
man.
It's just not on the field in the locker room too. You can't beat a guy to get your team motivated, and he was just great in the locker room.
I hated letting him go. I hated seeing him go, especially go to the Lions. I hated seeing that.
Dancing.
I love AJ
Before the
Dillon.
game, remember
Yeah.
before the game when you're watching the warm-ups and he's dancing.
Yeah, he's dancing.
So where is
Damn.
Can I
Where
ask
is
you
he
guys one
going?
question? Can I ask you
Let's
guys
get-
one question?
Let's do it. Greg, you still there? Greg?
I love,
No,
I love AJ Dillon, but how many of you would rather have Jamal Williams still on a team?
I was.
Well, let me put it to you this way.
I'm
I'd
dead on it. I'm dead on it. He could catch. He could run, block. He would die for the quarterback.
I mean,
I
I fucking love AJ Dillon. I really do think he's gonna
I
be-
do too. I love Dylan too. And I'm not saying he don't do all that stuff either.
The one thing
I'd
about
rather have
AJ Dillon,
Dillon.
he's got a power for get that first and goal or whatever. He's got that power to get you in there.
Jamal
I'd
Williams
rather-
just brings that loose cockiness to your
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
And
You guys are gonna
He's just
you
like-
guys are gonna hate this take that I'm gonna give you. I'd rather AJ Dillon be our starting running back and Jamal Williams be our backup. As much as I love Aaron Jones,
No,
he gets
man,
hurt too much,
no.
fumbles in key moments. It's not
The
viable.
fumbling just started, bro. The fumbling is just like
Oh,
that's
he's
been.
done it for a
That's
couple
not
of
just-
years.
I was once or
That's
twice
been
a
a
year.
problem for a while.
Yeah, it has.
You remember those first couple times he was down the field
No.
like 10 yards and Rodgers hit him with a pass? You weren't
Fumbling has been
expecting
a
it.
problem for a while. Okay, so let me tell you this: if you have AJ Dillon as your starting running back, I've been drinking because Aaron Rodgers is gone, so I've been drinking. Sorry. If you have AJ Dillon as your starting running back, we're Eddie lacing that shit. We're plowing it right through your ass, dog. If you have Jamal Williams as your backup, man, that is fruition right there. That is beauty. As much as I love Aaron Jones,
I love Aaron Jones.
Number 3 of these two.
Yeah, but Jones, he has 13 fumbles out of 1,035 carries.
Nick, we're gonna unfriend.
That's not bad.
So Dave, you can counter, but I feel like Ken actually agrees. Wait a minute. I feel like Ken actually agrees with me, so I'm gonna go with Ken first, and then Dave's gonna counter.
No, I absolutely love Jones too. He's extremely dynamic. But if we remember, as our season was winding down, the last 2 games, I had that nasty gut feeling that he was going to try and do too much and he was going to fumble it away in a key moment. And that's exactly what he ended up doing. Now,
that was the whole season, though.
Yep. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say he's prone to fumbling. It's just, I think in the big moments, he tries to do way too much. Like, he's a very good running back. I just think he thinks he's like one of the top 3 backs in the league, and no matter what they have around me, I can find a way out. Which I like the spirit.
I'm going to say he is prone to fumbling. I'm going to say
he just needs to cover the ball when he lands. Get on your feet and cover the ball, man.
He had a bad year last year, but before that, he only had
It wasn't just the Lions game.
2018 one. He only had one.
He is prone to fumbling.
2002.
He is prone to fumbling.
2 of them only. Only one in 2001, and then last year he had 3. Last year was his worst year. Otherwise, he only fumbled 1 time during the year or 2 times.
I never known him to. I mean, but the problem is it's been in key moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's been in key moments. It stands out. It stands out.
Worst time ever.
Yeah, it's complete backbreaking where it sucks the whole will of the team right out when it happens.
It's like momentum changing times that it's happened.
Yep.
So look, we're David Gray. I'm not gonna take away your moment. You're gonna have the floor. I'm gonna give you. Look, I'm even gonna put you as a solo layout. You're gonna have the floor. David Gray, go ahead.
It ain't really my moment, but I absolutely love fucking Aaron Jones. Yeah,
it's your moment.
You could even
I love it too. Shit.
You could even point to that touchdown he didn't score against Tampa in the NFC Championship game. Like, why the fuck did he cut it inside? You can point to that, but the dude averages what? What is his career yards per?
4.5, I believe it is. 4.5 a carry, I believe it is right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It ain't.
What is it with what is it all? What is his all-purpose yards per touch?
This year it was over 5.
His yards per carry is. I'm gonna Google it right now because it's got to be at 5.
For his career, okay. For his career is 5.1.
Yeah.
There you go. I know it was over 5.
How can dude produces, man? Yeah.
He has
key fumbles and some key fuck ups, but so did Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
But for so many years we didn't have a running game. For so many years,
AJ Dillon is great, but he sometimes, and I said this when he first started playing, he looks like he's like running through mud or something, dude.
Hey, but if you had Jamal Williams behind him, this would be a tandem to be. Man, come on. So look,
I can't bash Aaron Jones.
Let's not make this about Aaron Rodgers, okay?
I won't either, bro.
Aaron Jones.
I feel you, bro. I love Aaron Jones.
Has made some key, really horrible fumbles. He also has started to fade in a certain way to AJ Dillon. If we had AJ Dillon and Jamal Williams compared to Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, how do you feel about that?
I don't think Aaron Jones has gotten enough reps though either. How many times has Matt LaFleur gone away from him and Dillon?
That's why his average is so high because he doesn't get off.
Why was he? He was the best offensive player, arguably, on your team last year. Why was he not the focus point from the jump?
Well, let's be honest. Because you had Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback.
Well, but Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. The weapons are the guys he's throwing to or handing the ball off to.
The reason why they get away from the run so much is because Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback. That's all I was saying. Like, because you throw the ball in shotgun and in spread formations.
You can't throw the ball at Aaron Jones, though? How many times?
Well,
They did a lot. They threw a lot to Aaron Jones.
And it worked out great.
I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones had the most receptions last year, didn't he, for us?
I'm just saying, he was better than Lazard. He was better than Dobbs. He was better than Watson. He was a better option. He was a better option, and he didn't
drop the ball as much. He did fumble, but he didn't drop.
This year, now that they are not rookies anymore and they've developed, he's no longer the better option.
No,
Christian Watson is the number one option. Let's be honest.
I would agree with that. 100%. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Not last year, though.
I was going to say one of the reasons.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But then one of the reasons I'm thinking they didn't use Jones so much is because maybe Green Bay was not trying to be too predictable with the run.
But you lost Devontae, and Aaron Jones was the next best player other than Aaron Rodgers on that offense when you had Devontae. Am I wrong?
I think losing Devontae was kind of the writing on the wall. You know, the second you lose Devontae, you're sitting there going like, we're fucked. You know what I mean? Like,
but you got to go. Aaron Jones is good enough where you have to recognize that he was the best other option that you had.
Then that's perfectly fine. But the fact is that the fact that we had Aaron Rodgers, LaFleur's play calling in his scheme, which is very running back heavy, right?
I think we could have succeeded with Aaron Rodgers being a quote unquote game manager last year.
But he's never gonna be that.
That was kind of role I expected him to take last year.
That's his ego, though.
I was expecting him to take that role.
Whether it's ego, whether it's scheme, whether it's just whatever the fuck. Regardless, we all know that Aaron Rodgers is not gonna be a game manager.
Are both gonna have 1,000 yards rushing.
Aaron Rodgers 100% should have been a game manager last year. He should have been. He should have game managed last year. And he didn't. Instead, he tried to make wine out of water like he has so many times, and it did not happen, man. The throws were not there. He overthrew everybody. He underthrew everybody. The shit just did not work out. So it's almost as if we're all relieved that Aaron Rodgers is gone because we don't want to watch last year again. But we're all sad because, man, we watched one of the greatest quarterbacks ever for so many years. And I wanted him to be a Packer for life, man. That's a fact. And it just it sucks because now he's gonna play for someone else, and
don't make me break out the tissues for you now.
But still, it's like if they inherit all the toxicity and the ridiculousness and the shitty play, then I'm gonna sit here and go, we did the right thing, right? We did the right thing. We got rid of this shit while we could have. Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, should have retired. He should have retired at this point.
Why? We want draft picks. Fuck that.
So
next year.
That's where our fruition comes into play.
No, what Aaron Rodgers really should have done was when he said he got that $150 million, and he said he was committed to retiring as a Packer, he should have been fully fucking committed to retiring as a Packer. He was not fully committed to retiring as a Packer. Shit didn't go his way this year, and he wanted to play the fucking finger point game.
But you're kind of tying into what I'm saying right now is
I know
he should have just done it. He should have just retired. But John Dorn is tying into something else where it's like it benefits us, where if the Jets are really willing to give us all this shit for Aaron Rodgers, I'm saying at least we're getting something out of it, because I know for a fact, Jets, You're not going to do shit with Aaron Rodgers. I already know that for a fact.
No, you're not.
So here
Now,
we
what
are.
about this thing with his little wish list.
I-
That was true.
he
tried to
said,
Yeah, he
in
said
the
that that
interview-
wasn't true.
he said, well,
That's
he said that
bullshit.
he did
Do
have
you
a
believe
list
him?
of
Do you actually
guys,
believe him?
But he
Yeah, but it
felt-
wasn't a demand.
but there were no
Woods asked
demands.
him, the GM of Woods asked him, what about your guys? You know, like Lazard. Who do you want? Would you like? And he said Lazard. He said Cobb, and then Big Dog, and then I don't know where.
It's understandable. It's understandable. But
Yeah.
you got Garrett fucking Wilson, who was the offensive rookie of the fucking
And
year.
Elijah
last
Moore.
year.
All of a sudden, did you guys see this? Elijah Moore is looking to be traded. Did you see that?
The Packers, we're getting him in a deal.
So now
The first
because
one,
Lazard does the dumbest contract ever to sign Lazard for 44. I can't even believe that someone would do that.
No, I can't. Even.
That is so stupid. So those are the kind of things that makes me happy that we're kind of moving on, because I don't want to sign Lazard to 44 million. I don't want to do that. That's a stupid idea.
What about all the GM hate that everybody gives us? You guys remember when Aaron wanted Randall Cobb back? Yeah, did it work out? It was pretty good. It worked out all right.
He was good at third down.
Did it really work out though?
It worked out until he was hurt, though.
Yeah.
It actually didn't work out very well until he got hurt, though.
Yeah, third down was good.
I love Randall Cobb. I mean, I
Yeah.
know some of
Bro,
his family.
do you remember Randall Cobb had like 5 touchdowns in 6 games or something like that? And then he got hurt again for the millionth time ever. And it was like, oh, here we go with this shit again.
We
You
had
know?
to pick up.
That Aaron Rodgers doesn't get help, and he kind of dispels that rumor with this list or whatever, and wanting Cobb back, and like you say, you don't get help, but you want these same guys back that you're comfortable with, which is understandable. You're comfortable with them. I get it.
It doesn't coincide with him not getting real help. It coincides with his bullshit of like, hey man, like I need help, but I want these same guys that I failed with to be back.
I think he wants
mean?
those guys there to help
He
him.
wants a
out.
do-over. Like he knew he was there, but he just wants a do-over.
He doesn't go there by himself. He wants some.
The fact is, Aaron Rodgers wants specific guys back again, and it's like, dude, did you not learn that they're not gonna like? You're not winning with these guys. Like you haven't learned yet. So it's like, so look, I'm not gonna say that we gave him help because I don't feel like that's help. I feel like it's shitty help. Like we didn't give him real help. Now, Devontae Adams, that was real help, but he was by himself, man. He's by himself. So Rodgers wanting all these guys back again and doing this shit over again, it just confirms to me that the Jets are going to suck. and Rodgers is going to retire a Jet, fine, whatever, do what you got to do, but you're not going to succeed with this team, man. It's not going to happen.
Let's
What
go
do you think? What do you think Bakhtiari? What do you think Bakhtiari feels right now?
Do you think if we had T. Higgins instead of Jordan Love, it would have made a difference?
No, I don't. I actually don't, because I still think that we didn't.
T. Higgins is great. Don't get me wrong. T. Higgins
Sure,
is
perfectly
great.
fine, but we did not put together a defense that actually we did that we should have been a great defense, but the defense never came great enough yet. It like this, bro, getting T. Higgins wouldn't have changed anything, man. This defense, it underachieved again for the millionth time. And Aaron Rodgers, let's be honest, even if you had T. Higgins last year, Aaron Rodgers played like shit. I don't care who your receiver is
I'm
last
talking
year.
about 2020. Instead of drafting Jordan Love, we could have took T. Higgins.
Actually, I think that would have changed things. Yeah, 2020, absolutely. If we had T. Higgins, instead of Jordan Love, I think we win the Super Bowl that year.
Okay, what happens now when he retires? We have nobody. We have no quarterback then.
Dog, do you really think that Alan Lazard drops those first downs and EQ St. Brown drops a 2-point conversion? Like, if we had T. Higgins with Devontae Adams.
But you got to factor in that T. Higgins would have been a rookie that year, and you know
But T. Higgins was ready to play day
Everybody
one.
knows how Aaron Rodgers is with rookies, though.
T. Higgins was ready to play day one, though.
But was Aaron Rodgers ready to let him play, though? Christian Watson was well, he wasn't really ready to play day one, but you know what I mean.
I do think after a certain amount of games, and we were great that year. We won almost all of our games that year.
Going to the Jets.
By the time we got to the NFC Championship game, Dave, T. Higgins would have been that guy. So yes,
I would agree with you on that.
So if we didn't draft Jordan Love, then yes, I think it would have changed.
I still think Jordan Love was the right move, though.
I do too, because
Rodgers was coming off his collarbone, and he really did look washed up in 2019.
I'm going to say on this show,
100% think it was the injury, though.
I'm going to say on this show, and I'm going to say it forever now at this point. I don't care who comes at me at this point. Jordan Love is the real fucking deal, and that was the right move to make. He is the next great – I swear to God, I truly believe this. He is the next great Green Bay quarterback. He really is. Jordan Love is that guy. And I can't wait till he fucks all your teams up. I can't wait. I really can't fucking wait, because this is a real thing. Jordan Love is about to smack motherfuckers, bro. We about to have a team. Jordan Love's going to – man, for real. For real.
I think they wanted Justin Jefferson that year too, but the price was too high to trade up.
Yeah,
I truly believe that drafting Jordan Love, this is the absolute 100% right move, because this was inevitable, and this guy is the truth. This guy really is good.
Now, what do you think Buck Gary feels about all this?
Well, I think he's going to leave, and he's going to give us our cap space back. And let's be honest.
I think it sucks that Bakhtiari got hurt, and it really sucks that it happened after a contract year after we gave him money.
But get the fuck out of here and let's move on.
Done, bro.
Last year he played damn good last year.
He played great, yeah.
What I will say is one thing I will say is when we're talking, so we're talking about old players.
Kind of a dick.
I would love
any fans really.
I would love.
Dude.
I would absolutely love to bring Amos back. I really would, for like 2 or 3 years. I would love to bring Amos back.
No, Josh Diamond, they put a second round tag on him, so nobody can take him unless they give us a second round pick or something.
Mm-hmm.
I had another person say to me, and I'll let him remain nameless, but Green Bay supposedly so far under the cap right now. I don't really. I'll be honest, I didn't follow like their total thing. I thought we were kind of fuck with Aaron Rodgers' contract, but anyway.
No.
Who should we have actually went out and actually grabbed right away? Like who jumped out? Nobody really jumped out in free agency.
No. And okay, right now we got 24 mil, right? But at the time we pay our draft picks, and if Jordan Love thing, we owe like 9,000 on that. It brings us. We only have about 8,000 right now to play with. Right now, 8,000. That's it. 8 mil. I'm sorry, 8 mil to play with. That's all we got.
You know what? I'm ready to just sit back, draft some dudes, and see what Jordan Love does this year. And you know,
we got 10 draft picks, and plus whatever.
If it sucks having a bad year, you know what? We get a better pick next year.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be better for the future, though. I think it will be. You think
right now, the basic things we need. But the only thing we really basically need right now is safety. A pass rusher would be nice, and another receiver would be nice, and maybe a tight end. I mean, those 4 things right there. And we got 10 draft picks, you know. Yeah. And then whatever Jets gives us.
10 right now, right? 10 right now. That ain't including AR.
No, they ain't including that yet.
I've said before, I'd rather the draft goes in the direction of surround Love with the best tools and weapons possible.
Have we talked about hypothetical picks from the Jets yet?
No. What did Packers want 2-1?
A lot of people think we're getting 2 first. I don't. We're not. I have a 20.
I think Green Bay should hold out until they get what they want, and that's just me. Like hold out until you get what you want, because the Jets have zero leverage. We have all the leverage now. You just signed Lazard to the worst contract ever. You're about to sign all his buddies. You clearly want Aaron Rodgers at all costs. Give us what we want. We have all the leverage right now. We hold Aaron Rodgers right here. He doesn't have a no trade clause. He has to retire if we don't trade him. Dude, give us what we want. And
on the flip side of that, I agree with you, Nick. But on the flip side of that, we kind of do want to get rid of his contract right now. That is a big thing.
If we
wait,
I don't want to get too greedy. I want to be greedy, but not too.
Yeah.
If we wait until June 2nd, it turns into $15 million dead cap instead. Yeah. So we can wait as long as the fuck we want.
No, I'm thinking by September. By September.
Give us what we want.
Elijah Moore would be real good.
There you go.
No, I disagree. Give us a first.
I don't even know about Elijah Moore. I think he'll
give us a first, a second, and give us Garrett Wilson.
Come on, dude. We ain't getting
what do you mean? Or give us the 2 first-round draft picks that we wanted then.
There ain't no way we're getting Garrett Wilson, dude.
Okay, then give us the 2 first-round draft picks then.
I'll be happy just with the 13th pick, the first draft. I mean, first round. I'll be happy with that.
I'm only saying Elijah Moore because they've been shopping him.
Yeah.
I mean, they drafted Garrett Wilson for a reason.
Get more in the
here's my point.
Pick.
If we're really pressing this 2 first-round draft picks thing, then give us just a first and Garrett Wilson. We'll call it a day.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's 2 firsts right there.
Well, call one up.
Wilson, Christian Watson, and Romeo Dobbs, bro.
And Torrey.
I'm good with that.
And Torrey.
And Torrey, man, bro, we got a full depth of wide receivers at that point, bro.
Yeah, we brought back Davis.
Mayer, not the dude from.
We're not getting Mayer. We're getting Kincaid from Utah.
I know, Nick. You're big on the Kincaid.
I am.
Well, I don't
know. From what I see from Michael Mayer, he just, dude, like every time I watch him play, I don't watch.
You say younger Gronk?
Produces, bro.
Maybe Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a Mark Andrews type kind of guy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess.
What about Richardson? He's big.
And Kincaid to me is more like a Tony Gonzalez guy.
There you go.
You can't go wrong with Tony G, though. I mean, you kind of.
So actually, next year is the Prize de la Prize. There's this guy. There's this guy that plays for Georgia. He's a tight end, and he is.
Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, no. Washington. No.
What are you talking about?
Darnell Washington. You're talking about?
Nope.
Yeah, that's his name.
He spoke of the tight end from Georgia. That's supposed to be his name, ain't it? Darnell Washington.
I thought it was Richardson.
No.
Well, Richardson's that quarterback. I'm sorry.
It's Darnell something. Darnell R.
No. It's not who I'm talking about. You guys can keep guessing if you want. His name is Brock Bowers, first of all. He is better than any tight end you've ever seen.
From Georgia?
Huh? Yeah. Plays for Georgia. He was the guy that caught the winning touchdown in 2 years ago, national championship to beat Alabama. His name is Brock Bowers. He was a freshman when he did that. He's a sophomore this year. He's going to be a junior this next year. He is the best tight end that you've ever seen. His name is Brock Bowers.
So we can't draft him this year, though.
That's what I'm saying. Next year is the Prize de la Prize.
Next year, I want Marvin Harrison Jr. That's at the top.
By the way,
list, but
Brock Bowers played high school football where I played high school football. Napa, California. Now, I'm not joking.
It had to be a catch, dude.
Go look that up. Go look that up. Brock Bowers is by far the best tight end in the nation. He's been since freshman year.
Now, what would you guys think about Branch? If Branch comes in at 15,
that would be great. I hope we get Kincaid, and I hope in the second round Branch falls to us because it looks like that he actually could. Like teams are like, oh, well, Branch has all these problems and shit. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that if he can play football.
Carter's really dropping too.
We need a safety.
I want Jalen Hyatt from UT. Jalen Hyatt. I want Jalen.
We need a safety bad. Like everybody that's like, well, if we get another receiver, so you have no faith in Dobbs, you have no faith in Watson. Like we already drafted receivers. We already got these guys. Like that's what free agency for is to build on your wide receiver corps because we already got Watson and Dobbs.
Those are the top safeties. And who can we get at 15? I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Branch
is the highest one right now.
Branch is there. Like, bro, you got he's pretty.
And after that, it pretty much dies right off. I mean, it's not really.
I mean, I think everybody on here agrees that Darnell Savage should have never got his 50-year option after.
Well, I heard they might move Douglas over to safety. No.
And
they're talking about nickel safety. They're talking about hybrid, like making it, which I agree with. I think Russell Douglas, if he's on his own little island as a hybrid, I think he could be great at it because look, every time you put Russell Douglas in man-to-man, he gets burnt. Let's be honest. He does. He gets fucked. But every time you let Russell Douglas hold his own little island, his own coverage, dude, he fucks people up. He really does. He makes his own decisions. He's kind of like a don't make this out to be what you're going to make it out to be when I say this. He's kind of like a Darrelle Revis on his own island type of guy. Clearly, he's not ever going to be as good as Revis, but the way that he plays cornerback, it can't be just a full-blown put him in man coverage with one guy. That's a Jared Alexander job. Jared Alexander shadows. Russell Douglas, when you put him on his own little assignment, his own little island, he makes plays, man. He really does. He fucks shit up. And Eric Stokes is coming back. The fastest cornerback in the league.
But, okay, this we get Jets' first round pick, and we got ours. What I would like to do is actually get the best receivers available, and then the best fucking tight end available. Our worst was last year was the offense. We need to get that offense. Good weapons around Rod.
I think our offensive line is fine right now, though, as far as offense. We got Zach Tom. Zach Tom is a godsend. Like, Zach Tom is the next Elton Jenkins. He really is because you can put him anywhere, and he performs. He doesn't give up anything. And we picked up Nyman's last option, his second option. Bro, Nyman is a really good right tackle. He is. Like,
and if someone does pick him up, we get a second-round pick for him.
So, look, we got Nyman. We got Zach Tom. We have Runyon still. Runyon is awesome. We still have Elton Jenkins. We got Myers. Bakhtiari is still on contract with us, even though I'm pretty sure Bakhtiari is going to beg to be traded. Regardless, we still have a full lineup of guys that we can trust.
Not a pay cut, but he restructured.
Yeah,
he did, but I'm pretty sure he's going to want to be traded now that Rodgers is going to be good. Even if he doesn't, let's say he doesn't.
Is that an issue? I mean, if we can get something for him,
that'd be nice to get him on the books.
It hasn't been an issue. Nothing surfaced about that in any sort of way. I'm just assuming that his best friend is going to want to recruit him to the Jets. That's just my assumption. Maybe he doesn't. Let's say he doesn't.
Becton, though, he ain't going there.
We have a full lineup of offensive linemen. We have a good offensive line at this point. So we have good running backs. We need another receiver, not to replace – because let's be honest, Christian Watson's going to be our guy. That's going to be our guy. We got Romeo Dobbs for the possessional type of plays. You know what I mean? So we need another guy that really puts this together. Another wide receiver. And we
need two burners. We need to do two burners,
We don't need a rookie because it doesn't make sense to me. At our pick, because we need a tight end and a safety, I don't need a rookie wide receiver.
What about Bears old receiver Robinson?
Allen Robinson?
Yeah.
Is he not on the Rams anymore?
He's free. Yeah, he's free right now, yeah.
I mean, I think,
he ain't bad.
I've said the whole time, get Sterling Shepard. Get Sterling Shepard, who can elongate the field. He creates his own space. He's a great pass catcher. Sterling Shepard has proven to be actually a pretty damn good wide receiver. The Giants just don't need. What about Kenny Golladay? Kenny Golladay is out there. There are guys that we can try to make it work, but we need another guy.
Yeah,
I'd just rather draft a guy. There are so many great wide receivers coming out nowadays. Like, I mean,
I don't think drafting it, because look, let's put it this way, Gray. We need a safety and we need a tight end.
Wide receivers nowadays, though.
So we're gonna draft a receiver in the 4th round to try to help. It's not gonna, like, you know what I mean?
Second, first, maybe.
Why second?
Because make it make sense. Rodgers leaves, we get a first. We spend a first and a receiver. That'll piss him off.
Why? But why? We need a tight end and we need a safety. Why would we spend it on a receiver?
Because we had our receiving core was bad last year with drops and everything.
Well, they were rookies. They're not rookies anymore. Do you believe in Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs? Yes or no?
We need we have to get hurt. We have to get hurt.
Okay, I asked the question.
You could add a great first round talent to that. A great actual person.
Do you believe in Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs? Yes or no?
Do I?
I do.
Yeah. So why would you need to waste a first round draft pick on a receiver when we have more pressing needs if you believe in Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs?
I'm just saying, if there is an actual blue chip wide receiver right
like
there,
Jordan Addison
over at, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know too much about him. But
what?
I'm
so if he comes at 15, would you have him?
West Coast.
But that has nothing to do with it. Jordan Addison is my.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Johnson. I'm not a big fan of Johnson at TCU. I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think that he's going to be as good as the hype. I've
always loved the philosophy of the Packers. Best player available. I've always loved that philosophy, no matter what.
Okay, if it ain't wide receiver, what about
don't draft a receiver in the first round? If you believe Christian Watson and Dobbs are the guys, the next tandem, do not draft a receiver in the first round.
Okay,
we need a tight end, we need a safety, we need a defensive line. Bro, there are more pressing needs. That's my point.
But if you add another potentially great fucking guy to that tandem,
they can gel together, they can grow together.
I'm not saying that couldn't be great. What I'm saying is,
what's wrong with having 3?
What I'm saying is the more pressing needs is my issue.
Okay.
So we have no tight end now.
Would you rather have a great wide receiver or a great tight end?
But they were saying there's like
a great tight end because we have a great wide receiver. We already have a great wide receiver. His name is Christian Watson. We already have a great wide receiver.
You always said, you guys always said, we only had Devontae Adams. We never had another great wide receiver.
The other great wide receiver is Romeo Dobbs. That's why I said, do you believe that Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson, those two guys,
Romeo Dobbs will be a great. I fell in love with him. He had a great preseason.
So then we need a great tight end, bro.
It'll be a great 2 or 3.
Then we need a great tight end, bro. That's what we need.
Well, tight end, there's plenty of them in this draft. You can go down like third and get a good
then again, if you look at Romeo Dobbs, you had Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. You know how finicky Aaron Rodgers is. Maybe it's different with Jordan Love. Maybe Jordan Love sees him a little more and throws a little better ball to him, a different ball to him. And,
it was even finicky with Watson, and all of a sudden you saw Jordan Love get in the game. In the moment he got in the game, immediately he gave it to Watson and scores a touchdown. Bro, Jordan Love.
Why did we never go back to Watson on that first fucking game?
Exactly.
Why you do him that dirty? Like you do. Okay, he dropped his first fucking ball. Go back to him right away, dude.
Because it's Aaron Rodgers, man. Because it's Aaron Rodgers, man. That's why.
Exactly. It was Aaron Rodgers.
I'm still working this week.
He was pissed about it.
He could have caught another 75-yard pass if he really wanted to.
You could have got him wide open again against that.
Yeah.
But I said that earlier in the show where it was like when Jordan Love got in the game, you notice the second he got in the game, he looked right at Christian Watson immediately. Like every time. Bro, Jordan Love is looking at these guys. He's
Jordan
looking
Love
at these
throws
guys.
a great back shoulder too.
Yeah.
He threw it great
So-
with Devontae. Devontae ran the wrong route. It was on fucking point. It was right there. That was against Kansas City.
And Aaron Jones that one, but he missed it. He didn't catch it. That was a damn good ball, but Aaron Jones dropped it. That was-
I think Jordan
Right.
Love was a deer in headlights against fucking Kansas City.
So there's a reason why I asked you guys.
Well, during
Do
Kansas
you-
City, they blitzed the shit out of them.
There's a reason I asked you guys, do you believe that Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs are those guys? And you guys said yes. So because of that, I don't feel the need to waste a first-round draft pick on a receiver because not only in free agency could we get a receiver, but you could also draft a receiver in like the third round. First round, if we have 2 first-round picks, bro, you gotta go with what's wrong with this team. You gotta go tight end, safety, defensive line. You gotta go something like that actually helps. And I'm not saying if we get a first round draft pick wide receiver, I'm not saying that won't help. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is logically, we should do something else other than that. If you believe that Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs are those guys.
Well, hopefully they bring Torrey back up to it. He's get some more playing time.
Who?
Torrey. Samari Torrey.
Yeah.
He was okay. He caught the ball at least.
If he was
caught
really that great, he
the
would have
ball.
been playing. If he was really that great, he would have been playing. I'm not knocking the dude, but if he is really like ready to fucking play and be that great, he would have been playing.
But he actually caught the ball when it was thrown to him, though. He did. He caught the man. He actually played decent when the ball was thrown to him.
And you got to remember that Love actually threw a lot of balls to him in practice and all that kind of crap, with the twos and shit. So he's still familiar with them. So
let's say that we pick up in free agency, just for example, Sterling Shepard. Do we now need to draft a receiver again?
No.
So I feel like free agency is probably the more probable
it
aspect.
depends how much that receiver is going to cost us.
I think Sterling Shepard has been demoralized and he's been shit on by the Giants in a way that we could probably get him. This is just my assumption. It's not a fact. I'm willing to bet we can get him for like $7 million a year.
Shark's out there too. Shark.
I don't think we should go ape shit over free agency this year either.
No.
Okay, so you mentioned Shark. Shark's gonna want Lazard money. Well, now not previous Lazard money. Right now, Lazard money. He's gonna want $11 million a year, and I'm not willing to.
He's not worth it.
He's not worth it.
No.
So if Sterling Shepard gets $6 million a year, for example, which is what we were willing to give Lazard, I would take Sterling Shepard every day of the week for $6 million a year.
Would you take Elijah Moore in a trade?
Oh, absolutely, yes, I would. Elijah Moore, in my opinion,
love Garrett Wilson.
Elijah Moore is better than Lazard, in my opinion. He is.
Yeah.
So, dude, if
Lazard was a dog and he great, but you know what? He wasn't like. He was great at blocking. He was great at fucking you up, and
he drops everything.
Caught a couple great passes, but yeah,
when it's 3rd and 5, and when it's 3rd and 5, and you hit him right on the sideline for the first down, he goes every time he drops the fucking ball. I swear. I have great hopes for that dude.
More dependable on 3rd down than Lazard whatever was.
Cobb, in my opinion, Cobb is better than Lazard still right now today. I would take Cobb over Lazard. I would.
He saved a lot of first downs for us last year.
He's the 3rd down maniac. And not only that, whenever you're in the red zone, he's open in the end zone every time. I don't know.
The only thing I did like was when Rodgers threw bombs to him. It's like that's the worst running receiver, whatever, to throw bombs to is a Cobb. Cobb ain't a good way downfield. He's short.
He used to be. He used to be though.
But man,
not anymore.
Man, Rodgers tried hooking up with him last year. It was like every single time it failed. It was like, what the hell was he throwing to? You know?
Yeah,
Well,
I gotta
look,
get off here soon too, man.
I was about to say, look, I think we've covered pretty much everything. We've really destroyed.
So let's do our homework. Let's do our homework a little bit. Let's talk a little bit more about
Hey,
the
we
draft
really
and all
didn't
that.
destroy Aaron Rodgers, though. I mean, really, thanks, Aaron Rodgers, for all the time.
No,
you've been
what I was gonna say was
but
we've really destroyed everything that there was to talk about. We've absolutely gone to the extent of everything at this point. Now we're just splitting hairs right now amongst each other. So look, this was the Frozen Tundra Network. This was an important day. And I'm sure both of you can agree this was probably the most important media day for Green Bay Packers in the last decade today.
It was needed. It was needed. Much needed.
This was huge. Like, this was astronomical. This is a big thing. So our viewers, I'm going to send you guys the numbers tomorrow. You won't believe how huge our viewers were to start this show when we started talking about Aaron Rodgers. It just kept going up and up and dude, it blew up. I'm not joking. Everyone wanted to watch us talk about Rodgers today. So
I wonder how many Jets fans are on there.
Oh God, I'm sure we gain new fans from Jets fans.
We gotta find some Jet fans and get another show going.
There you go.
Bring them on and be like, so how do you feel right now? Like,
I don't want to win, and I definitely don't want, unless it improves our draft stock. I do not want him to win it. No, fuck no.
Okay, I've been going on like
I'm
on
not
YouTube.
a Jets fan. Why the fuck would I want him to win in the Jets uniform?
Same.
I've
I'm a
been-
Packers fan.
I go on YouTube and there's like about 3 different or 4 different guys that are live all the time. They talk nothing but Jets, and I click on them. I just list them, and they're saying, "Oh, we're gonna give them a 3 and a 4, and you know, and all this bullshit." You know, yeah. Go to YouTube and you'll see them. It'll say live underneath their thing. Click it and watch them. They just
I'm
talk
going to be
stupid.
really pissed off if we don't get that 13th pick.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's been confirmed that this show is more realistic than Jets shows. So
Yeah.
So look, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you everybody
All right,
for
man.
watching.
Go,
Frozen
Pack,
Tundra
go.
Network. Go,
Yeah,
Pat.
no
Go.
training.
Thank you,
Aaron.
Aaron Rodgers, and let's go, Jordan Love, the new era. Jordan
Love train.
So, wait. I'm gonna ask you, John Dorn. Is that the nickname? Because I don't think it's Love Train.
Huh?
What's Jordan Love's nickname gonna be? It's not Love Train.
No, we gotta come up with something. We'll
I think it's like on. Have you ever seen Major League where it's like Love Thing? You make my heart sing.
Heartbreaker, love breaker.
Ah, the heartbreaker because he's love. When we start whooping ass, I'm gonna call him the heartbreaker.
There you go.
Why do you call him the heartbreaker? Because he's love. That's he's
Oh,
now. Yeah, he's now forever ingrained for me. He's the heartbreaker.
Yep.
Yep. So now when we're on these shows and when I say, so what do you think about the heartbreaker? I hope you sit there and go, oh, well, Jordan Love. Yeah. Let's do it.
We know.
All right, buddy. Well, look.
See you Friday.
We'll see you guys on Friday when live Ken shaves his beard.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Woo! All right. I'll see you on Friday.
Yep.
Everyone. Later,
Later.
everybody. Aaron Rodgers, the day that he decides to show up, the defense doesn't. I want the whole package. I want the whole thing this time.
I'll tell you what, Romeo Dobbs is looking good. He is going to be wide receiver number 1 by the end of the season. Book it.
Dillon are going to be part of this. They're going to get a lot of catches this year. They're going to get even more. Jones already showed that he can handle a big load of catches.
9 different receivers had 90 or more yards, in the 7 games that Devontae was out.
He stuck with this team for so long. He said he wants to retire here. Why not just let it be? I mean,
Hey everybody, this is Gerhard de Beer, former Green Bay Packer offensive lineman, and you're watching Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan and Packer owner Nick. Enjoy.